Trust Donald Trump to sow confusion. He keeps talking about retaining foreign talent, but right now he's harassing them. Thousands of H-1B applicants, Indian applicants, are stuck in a limbo. Their interviews have been delayed, their travel is on hold, and their jobs hang by a thread. It has triggered a lot of outrage on social media. People are calling it a humiliation ritual for Indians. So what's going on here? As you know, the H-1B is a work visa. It is reserved for people with special skills, maybe in AI or medicine or tech. Around 70% of these visas are secured by Indian workers. The initial visa is valid for 3 years, so before it expires, you have to renew it. And that is the root of this current crisis. You can't renew the H-1B visa from the United States. You must come back to your home country, in this case, India. You must attend interviews at US missions, and then you get the visa stamped. Now, December is usually a busy time for this process. It's holiday season in America, so a lot of workers return to renew their H-1B. Just one problem, though. Trump has made it a lot more difficult now. Thousands of interviews slated for December have been postponed. These are visa interviews. They were slated for this month. They've been postponed, and that too by many months. Applicants are getting emails at the last moment. An interview on December 15th has been delayed to March next year. A December 19th interview has been delayed to late May. What explains this crisis? President Trump's new rule. Here's what it says. As of December 15, the State Department will expand the requirement that an online presence review will be conducted for all H-1B applicants and their dependents. To facilitate this vetting, all applicants are instructed to adjust the privacy settings on all of their social media profiles to public. That's the new rule. If you want an H-1B, your social media profile must be public. Your Instagram, your X, your TikTok, all of it must be visible to the public. The State Department will then comb through your feed, and only then will you get an H-1B visa. The obvious question is why? What is the US government looking for? Again, let me quote. Every visa adjudication is a national security decision. The United States must be vigilant during the visa issuance process to ensure that those applying for admission to the United States do not intend to harm Americans or our national interests. Frankly, it's an insult to these applicants. Forget hurting America. Indian migrants have enriched the United States. Let me pull up a study for you. It traced the impact of Indian migrants on the US economy, and what did it find? Each Indian migrant reduces the US national debt by $1.6 million. This is over a period of 30 years. They pay a lot in taxes, they pay into American social services, they generate jobs, and most importantly, they are model residents. Yet, how does the US repay them? With insults about national security. But the question is, what is driving this policy? Why this attempt to curb the H-1B? Well, money is one factor. The H-1B application fee is $100,000. But Trump has unveiled a new pathway for work permits, and that is called the Trump Gold Card. This one, a gold card, costs $1 million. So maybe the US is driving applicants and companies towards the gold card. Forget this visa, apply for a gold card. That's what they want, perhaps. It means more money for the US government. But that's not the primary factor. There's also a big race factor. Let me introduce Mark Mitchell. He heads a pro-Trump polling company in the United States, and look at his statement this week. I have never in my life wanted anything more than this, to build a new corporate consultancy helping major firms de-Indianize. De-Indianize. He wants to cut out Indians from US firms. Why? Well, he explained that on a podcast. This man says Indian H-1B migrants are stealing jobs. And wait till you hear the logic. He says India produces a regular supply of young engineers. Meanwhile, the US has older, more expensive engineers, and that is why companies prefer the Indians. Well, congratulations. You have figured out demand and supply. But let's not kid ourselves. This is not about skill or salary or age. This is about skin color. This is about a so-called American superiority. It started with hardcore MAGA. They pushed Donald Trump to end the H-1B system to kick out the Indian workers. At first he resisted, but his recent moves make you wonder what he wants. In fact, one line in his new H-1B policy sums it up. It says, and I'm quoting again, a US visa is a privilege, not a right. The fact is, it is not a privilege or a right. It is just a simple document for travel or work, a document you benefited from. You used Indian workers to enrich your economy. You built Silicon Valley with Indian talent. It was not a one-way bridge. It was a symbiotic relationship based on economic logic. The logic still holds today. It is just buried under layers of American racism.
The U.S. Justice Department is an institution in turmoil. This year, federal prosecutors have followed the president's lead to pursue criminal charges against some of his most vocal critics.
This is not about me. No. Yes. This is about all of us. Yeah. And about a justice system which has been weaponized.
Yeah. My heart is broken for the Department of Justice, but I have great confidence in the federal judicial system, and I'm innocent.
That was, of course, former FBI Director James Comey, preceded by New York Attorney General Letitia James. NPR's Carrie Johnson has been covering the Justice Department for nearly 2 decades, and she joins us now.
Oh, happy to do it.
Now, Carrie, in your reporting since President Trump took office this year, you've talked about the brain drain at the DOJ. Give us a sense of the scale of that.
More than 5,000 workers have left the Justice Department this year by some estimates. That includes the acting director of the FBI and many of the other top FBI officials. At the Justice Department, the pardon attorney is gone. The ethics advisor is gone. Most of the prosecutors who took on public corruption are gone, as well as people who worked on cases involving the Capitol riot nearly 5 years ago. And at the Civil Rights Division, nearly 3 out of 4 lawyers are gone.
Wow. And how is all of that turnover impacting the work of the Justice Department?
The first thing to say is that there have been a lot of mistakes, misstatements of law, like in a big Texas redistricting case. A Trump-appointed judge says the DOJ civil rights letter in that case contains so many factual, legal, and typographical errors that even lawyers working for the Texas Attorney General, allies of President Trump, called the letter legally unsound, ham-fisted, and a mess. Then there are these alleged misrepresentations to courts in deportation cases. In D.C., Judge Jeb Boasberg is demanding to hear from the Justice Department about whether lawyers intentionally flouted his order this year to turn planes around carrying Venezuelan migrants. Aris Ruveni spent 15 years at the DOJ. He later blew the whistle on what he saw as misconduct in immigration cases. Here's what he told me this year.
The political leadership in charge of the DOJ didn't care one bit about our oaths to the courts. They had one and only one goal: put those people on planes, get them out of the country ASAP.
The Attorney General has called Ruveni a disgruntled employee and a leaker.
So, Carrie, what is the cost of all of this turmoil?
People who've worked at the DOJ and the FBI really worry it's making the country less safe. The former acting director of the FBI and 2 other top officials there say they were fired for improper political reasons this year. Chris Maddie's a lawyer for some of those fired officials.
When you kneecap an organization by getting rid of its leaders, you really compromise the FBI's ability to carry out its mission.
Then another bunch of FBI agents who had nearly 200 years of experience got fired for taking a knee during racial justice protests 5 years ago.
So, Carrie, the Supreme Court said in an immunity case last year that a president has absolute control over the Justice Department. How is President Trump using some of that newfound authority?
President Trump has been pretty clear about his intentions. He's been angry ever since the Biden DOJ charged him with federal crimes in cases that wound up being dropped after the election. Here's Trump delivering a major speech at the Justice Department headquarters in March.
Our predecessors turned this Department of Justice into the Department of Injustice, but I stand before you today to declare that those days are over, and they are never going to come back. They're never coming back.
There's now a pattern of the Justice Department going out of its way to help allies of the president and other people accused of political corruption. For instance, the president has granted clemency to several members of Congress, George Santos of New York, Henry Cuellar of Texas among them. He's also issued pardons of the former president of Honduras and other convicted drug kingpins. That undid a lot of work by federal prosecutors and agents. And at the same time, the Justice Department seems to be targeting Trump's political opponents. People like the former FBI Director Jim Comey, New York Attorney General Tish James, and California Democratic Senator Adam Schiff.
So, Carrie, there's just so much to cover here. What are you going to be following in the weeks to come?
The Senate still has advise and consent power and some oversight power if the Republicans in charge now want to use that power. And there are some signs of infighting between DOJ leaders and the people at the top of the FBI. FBI Director Kash Patel, his deputy Dan Bongino. That could produce some turnover in the coming weeks or months. And some nonprofit groups suggest accountability for now may be simply documenting all the unusual and possibly unlawful things happening at the Justice Department.
That is NPR's Carrie Johnson, busy as ever. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thanks for having me.
Only one of the 50 states has a mandate that those on Medicaid must also work. Georgia. But not for long. By 2027, the federal government will roll out the program nationwide. The Trump administration has set aside money to help states set up an applicant screening system. But if Georgia's experience is any indication, the cash will just be a drop in the bucket. Sam Whitehead is a correspondent for KFF Health News, whose reporting helped lead to a federal investigation into the cost of the Georgia Pathways program. And when he spoke to WABE's Christopher Alston, he began by giving a refresher on where the program now stands.
So Georgia Pathways to Coverage, just to catch people up, is the nation's only active Medicaid work requirement program. It was set to expire at the end of September this year. Then at the last moment, federal officials at the Centers for Medicare and Medicaid Services basically said, hey, Georgia, you've got to get your program in line with these rules in H.R. 1, and that's what the state's working on. There are different exemptions, for instance. So H.R. 1 says you can be exempted if you are a caregiver of a child who is 13 years old or younger. You can be exempted from the Pathways reporting requirements if you're a caregiver of a child under 6 years of age. There's also different verification frequencies. So in Georgia Pathways, originally the idea behind the program is that you would prove you were working, volunteering, going to school for 80 hours a month when you signed up, and then the cadence would be you'd do that every month. That was scaled back because that was just a big administrative headache for the state to figure out how to do. So now it's at initial enrollment, and when you renew each year, H.R. 1, you have to report those hours when you enroll, and then twice a year after that.
To what extent have you found in your reporting that in crafting the requirements in H.R. 1 that they kind of took from what they learned in Georgia Pathways, or are they doing that in an ongoing manner?
That is a really interesting question. So we have seen, I do not know the degree to which people at CMS were talking to people in Georgia. My guess is they were. There's an individual named Grant Thomas who used to be kind of number 2 at the state's Medicaid agency. He has now been pulled up to Washington, D.C. and now is working at CMS. My guess is that people up in D.C. saw the experience he had working with Georgia's program and said, hey, that would be valuable. What's, I think, really interesting, too, and maybe answers this question a little bit, is really the kind of leeway that CMS has given Georgia to run this program. You know, our reporting has found that the program has been pretty expensive when it comes to administrative costs. That reporting actually inspired a number of Democratic senators, including our 2 from Georgia, to ask for the Government Accountability Office, the top federal watchdog, to investigate Georgia Pathways. And they found that administrative spending wasn't really taken into account when the program was approved, and that administrative spending didn't have appropriate levels of oversight. So one of the things that I'll be watching as, 42 states and Washington, D.C. have to implement these work rules, is CMS going to be able to effectively oversee that kind of administrative spending at that scale if they've been unable to really keep Georgia in line.
And can you talk a little bit more about that? You mentioned them having to scale it back just because of how much of an administrative headache it was. How much was it costing?
So we have found that the Georgia program has cost about $109 million, with the vast majority of that going to administration, right, to building and updating the system. So that's money that's not going to actually pay for health benefits for people. H.R. 1 does provide $200 million that's going to be split among all these jurisdictions to start to stand up these programs. But you got to consider that's only the kind of first little bit of money that's going to be kind of put towards this effort, right? States are also going to put in some of their own money, and they can draw down some federal match for that too. So, you know, people who are looking at this from the kind of health policy research side have really pointed out that that $200 million figure is really only a small drop in the bucket if you think about how much money could be spent on standing up these programs across the country.
And that was WABE producer Christopher Alston speaking with Sam Whitehead, correspondent for KFF Health News. This is WABE.
Tonight we have a story that will puzzle some and spark fury in others.
Yeah, especially during a time of being kind and thinking about others. A 19-year police veteran in Mount Vernon has kidney failure, and he is on dialysis.
Now, if you know anyone who has had this, you know what it means. But in his case, and this case, his doctors say he can work on light duty.
But here's the rub. The Mount Vernon Police Department says he can't work, and he's now being terminated December 31st, and that means no health insurance.
Happy holidays. Not. Here's Marcus Solis.
I do 9 hours of dialysis 7 days a week to maintain my health. Without that, I wouldn't survive.
Derek Williams describing his declining health, surrounded by retired Mount Vernon police officers supporting their brother in blue. Williams is a 19-year veteran, a former member of the Elite Emergency Service Unit. In 2020, he contracted COVID after months of working double shifts.
Derek's character caused him to come in and work and support this city and the residents of this city during the worst pandemic that we've had.
The department has classified Williams' kidney failure as a non-job related illness and stopped paying him when he became too sick to work. Doctors have cleared the 45-year-old for desk duty, and he's just 6 months shy of qualifying for a reduced pension. That request has been denied.
I begged for my job back. I begged to come in whatever hours that I can capable of doing. And I was told there's no light duty for me.
Earlier this month, Williams received a termination letter effective December 31st, which would not only end his career, it would cut off his health insurance.
I just feel like they have no empathy, they have no compassion.
To be just thrown like in the garbage, like it's over, it's ridiculous.
To be blunt, if you're terminating his employment, you're terminating his life in so many words.
Mount Vernon says it cannot comment on personnel matters. Williams has an application pending for a state disability pension and is on a kidney transplant waiting list. In Mount Vernon, Marcus Solis, Channel 7, Eyewitness News.
What would it take to change careers where you are today? Have you considered it? Most of us have, and most of us have also considered it terrifying. So how would you navigate your way from where you are today to someplace better when it comes to making a living? I'm Lee Rayburn in for Larry Mueller today, and this is The Larry Mueller Show. Our guest is Lanice Runnels. She's a workforce director in Waukesha, Ozaukee, and Washington counties for the Wisconsin Department of Workforce Development. And Lanice, welcome to The Larry Mueller Show.
Hi, welcome. Thank you so much for having me. I'm excited to be here today.
And we're excited to have you because I don't know of anybody that hasn't at least considered, well, maybe there's a better place for me. Maybe there's a better fit. Maybe there's better money, better work-life balance, more happiness. But when you start thinking about it, it seems rather challenging to say the least. So if I were to consider changing careers, Lanice, where would I even begin?
Oh, thank you for that question. That is a powerful, powerful question, because making a career change, it's a powerful step towards shaping the future that you want. So what I would do is I would start with reflecting with what truly matters to you. So look at your strengths, your interests, your values, your long-term goals. Also, I would ask myself a few questions. So if listeners are listening, write this down. Ask yourself what energizes you. Ask yourself what skills do you really enjoy using. Also, look at what do people constantly tell you you're good at, or what do people constantly ask you to do. This self-reflection, that can be your roadmap. Once you have taken this time to reflect, start exploring career options. Of course, I'm going to talk a lot about Job Center of Wisconsin, which is our exchange system that we use to post our jobs, and a whole bunch of other resources, right? So you can go to the Job Center of Wisconsin, and we have career exploration tools there. If you go there, there's something called Plan a Career. And when you click on that, there's information where you can explore different occupations, pathways, wages, training options, and so much more. This is a great, great place to start if you want to see what's available and discover what aligns with your goal. Also, I want to share that if you go to Job Center Wisconsin, you can also connect to Wisconomy, which is another space right on that website. And there you can see what careers are currently in high demand, what industries are growing, and then you can pair your passion with the data. And that will help you make a confident decision, because now you're not just, oh, I'm good at this, but is there jobs in that? What will align?
So the website for the Job Center of Wisconsin through the Wisconsin Department of Workforce Development is jobcenterofwisconsin.com. Pretty simple, jobcenterofwisconsin.com. But we also have a link to it on our website, so if you need it later, you'll find it at wpr.org/Larry. And Lenise, you say 3 questions you need to answer for yourself. What energizes you, what skills you enjoy, and what you're good at. And I'll just use me as an example. Well, I'm good at talking. I've got people skills, but after that, I'm not sure about what else my skill set would be. If I think about what people tell me I'm good at, yeah, I've got people skills. I'm good at talking. But where do I turn when, I've talked for 20 years on the radio, but wouldn't know where else to go where my talking might be of value?
Yeah, that is great. So sometimes, people get stuck and they're like, this is what I'm good at and that's all I know. That's why we would use our career tools. So you can also use Skill Explorer, My Future, and all of this you can, again, I'm rattling this off, but you can find this on Job Center Wisconsin. In there, they're going to prompt you with some questions, right? They're going to ask you some things that you've done, and then based on that, they will output job titles that you could do. Now, of course, I tried this out myself because I can't just share a product and not have used it myself. Sure. And so when I tried it out, it suggested like a funeral home director, just stuff that I would never think about, because what it is doing is showing you your transferable skills, right? And so we have a lot of transferable skills. You have leadership, you have organization, you have all these different things. And so those are good skills that is going to transfer to your next step of the journey. And sometimes, again, that's why we use these tools. That's why we stop in the job center to talk to someone else, because they can pull those things out of us. They can ask us those questions. We can use these tools, and then they can connect us to other possibilities that you may not even considered or understood that, wow, I didn't know that I had that skill set, and maybe all it would take is additional trainings or some upskilling, but you would fit perfectly in that role. So again, it's really about taking the courage to speak about it, think about it, and to move forward, because that takes a lot of courage. And we have to remember that this is a process, right? It's not going to happen overnight. But if you're willing to do the work, you don't have to do it alone. That's what we're here for.
You don't have to do it alone. Lenise Reynolds, our guest, Workforce Director with the State Department of Workforce Development. And if you've got questions about careers, give us a call, 1-800-642-1234. Work-life balance or just basic happiness, give us an email, talk@wpr.org. So, Lanice, I am over 50 now, and I wonder, is there an age where it is too late to change careers, or how do I figure out whether or not it's worth taking that risk so late in my work life?
It's never too late.
Never.
That's something that we hear a lot, and we're actually seeing a lot of mature workers or older workers come into our job centers or meet us at one of the access points or the libraries, and we're all around, right? And so you're never too old to start over. You have the experience, right? You have experience, you have wisdom, you have knowledge. The most important thing that employers are looking for is flexibility. Are you willing to be flexible? Are you willing to adapt? Are you willing to learn a new skill, right? So you have all of this knowledge and this experience. Now let's couple this with maybe your strongest point isn't technology. So how can we couple that with that and use that and really, really push forward? So there is no age limit on growth. If you have a growth mindset and you're willing to do it, you have something to add to the workforce. So I encourage people, don't allow your fear to stop you from moving forward, right? Your fear can fuel your purpose, right? And sometimes what happens is our identity is all caught up in the roles and the titles that we have.
Yes.
But guess what? Whether you have that current title or not, those skills and those experiences are still with you. You still harbor all of that. That's your inherited skill, and it's valuable. And someone needs it. There are employers looking for that. We have over 57,000 jobs posted right now on Job Center Wisconsin.
What was that number? Wait. Lanice, you said 57,000 jobs?
Yes. Yes. And so there are opportunities, and this is across the state of Wisconsin, right?
Yeah.
And so there are opportunities for you. There is someone that is looking for your wisdom, your knowledge, your mentorship, right?
Oh.
So don't look at age as a disadvantage, but look at it as an opportunity to give back and to still have meaningful, purposeful conversation and contribution to the community. I think that it's important to share, what you bring, what you provide. So your interview was the key. And obviously there was something on your interview that drawed them in to make them want to have a conversation with you. And a lot of times we're nervous in that. But we have to remember this is not an interrogation. This is a dialogue. This is a conversation. So we have to go in that mindset that this is not just about if they want me. This is also about am I a good fit for them? And so I think just that shift in that mindset will help set a good tone and pace that this is a dialogue for both of us to see how this will fit, how we will work together. But there's a trick that I use that I like to share too with everyone when interviewing. Remember these three things: head, heart, and feet. I'll say it again: head, heart, and feet. Yes.
The head and the heart, Lanice, I can kind of understand, but walk us through that and get to the feet, which I do not.
Okay, so head. We have to think about facts and data. So we have to get to their head, right? Mm-hmm. And so there's some people who are very like, what is the data? What are you saying? You're saying, I manage files, but give me more data to that, So research the company, prepare example answers, right? Mm-hmm. So we know typical questions that they may ask, prepare some answers and make sure you have the details with that. And so we like to use the STAR method, which is share the situation, the task, the action, and the results, right? And then know your own data. Be ready to speak to your qualifications, skills, certifications, and achievements. So that's the head. The head is get the facts and the data about the company and about you. Next, the heart. We want to make an emotional connection during this interview, right? It's not just about, yes, I can do it, but it's also about a culture fit and all that other stuff. So show that you are genuinely concerned and you're genuinely interested and care about the opportunity and the mission, right? Be authentic. Connect on values. Explain not just why you can do it, but why this role matters, right? Listen and engage. Again, this is a conversation. You're building a real human connection with the interview. Let your personality show. So that's the heart. And finally, the feet is we got to take action, right? Your feet help you move. So we have to do something. We can't just think about it, right? So practice what you want to say. Practice those answers that you're going to give with a friend in a car, whatever. You also, again, I'm going to keep promoting the Job Center Wisconsin. If you go on the Job Center Wisconsin, there is a link that shows our location so you can meet us there. You can do mock interviews with us. That way you can get some feedback and things of that nature. And also show with energy. Send a thank you letter. Remember, head, heart, and feet. Bring the facts, make a connection, and take actions. When these three come together, I think that helps you to do the interview well.
Lenice Reynolds, our guest, Workforce Director in Waukesha, Ozaukee, and Washington counties for the State Department of Workforce Development.
The man knot, race, class, genre, and the dilemmas of black manhood.
A school bus driver told to pull over in the middle of his route after a student on board reported the driver may be impaired. Well, now the school bus company calls the incident a definite false accusation. 12 News' Reyes Bigner spoke to that driver tonight.
Joel Sills has been on his route from Milwaukee's Golda Meir School for 2 months.
I say good morning and good afternoon, and that's about it.
Driving teenagers to and from school on time on Wednesday morning.
I get a call from my dispatch saying pull over immediately, and I was escorted off the bus.
The students on the bus,
they were like laughing and saying, I heard like in the back on the side, like, he's going to get fired or something.
Sills says someone riding the bus made a phone call accusing Sills of driving impaired.
Saying that I was hitting medians and driving erratically, and I wasn't at all.
Milwaukee Public Schools says it was a student who called a parent. That parent then called police and the school. Sills took a breathalyzer.
I don't drink.
Which came back clear.
Their whole hopes was for me to lose my job. I feel that was like a threat, and I got 3 children that I work hard for, and I shouldn't have to go through this.
Safeway Transportation Services, which employs Sills, confirmed the incident to 12 News. A manager saying, quote, it was definitely a false accusation. In a letter to parents Wednesday, Golda Meir principal Michelle Carter said in part, no other students expressed the same concern about Sills being impaired, adding, the company tested the driver and determined the driver was not impaired. As a result, we expect the driver to return to work.
Well, I feel this is not the first time that I've been lied on. I feel that, like, bus drivers need to get more appreciation for what they do, because there's a lot of drivers that call in falsely and say things that's not true all the time.
No consequences for the teenager that called. Sills says there is footage of him driving perfectly fine. He did mention his route has changed, that it's shorter, which can mean less pay, but he's happy to still have his job. Reporting in the newsroom, Reyes Bigner, WISN 12 News.
Black male privilege. Black male privilege. That last segment right there. Not that the other reports on work requirements in Georgia and the H-1B visas for the Indians, where they say this is direct racism, man. This is about skin color. All that is important. The great Lenice Reynolds out in Wisconsin Department of Workforce Development. Great suggestions and what have you, but oh man, I was all done with the audio for today, and we gonna get to it and all the rest of it, and I just happened to look. Shout to Sade C. Robinson. I was in Milwaukee earlier this year for her murder trial, and so I do try to stay abreast of things that are happening in the Milwaukee, Wisconsin area. I went to WISN and saw my privileged black brother, Joel Sills. Joel, S-I-L-L-S. Joel Sills. Excuse me. At least I can get privileged black brother's name correct. And I see black male up there, and they say he been falsely accused of driving the bus under the influence. Said, is that tumbling dice? I went and read the report. I said, man, if they didn't accuse him of stealing the weed whacker, my privileged black brother tumbling dice, did you hear? He said one of the teens on the bus called his mama and said, the black dude driving the bus, I seen him with a flask of Mad Dog 2020. He ran over the median. He almost hit a child. I don't think we're going to make it home. He said the dispatch called and said, you pull it over right now. They came at whatever. Hey, didn't we just talk a couple weeks ago? We talked about on the plantation, and especially the workplace, but on the plantation in general, a massive component of the system of white supremacy racism is humiliating black people. My black brother, my privileged black brother, who might be Tumbling Dice's cousin. Tumbling Dice, you got cousins in Wisconsin? They said my privileged black brother snatched him off the bus. He got 3 children, Joel Sills. 3 children. Pretend daddies, you deadbeat dad, you. And they came and snatched him off the bus. You done stole that weed whacker, ain't you? You've been raping white women, ain't you? You've been shooting dice on the back of the bus, ain't you? You done took a swig of the Mad Dog 2020. They got to find some reason. You're an inebriated, intoxicated old black man. And he said, the young fella who snitched, or I can't even say snitched, the young fella who lied on me, he wanted to get me fired. Man, I thought, wait a minute. I thought that the young peoples, they not racist. We were told that the young white, didn't Obeezy, he said, hey, young white people, hey, they are way better. I got Sasha and Malia, and they come hang out at the house and everything, and, you know, these young white peoples, you know, they behave better. They don't do all the racist jokes and everything. They still try to get you fired. He said he drive for the high school. I'm gonna assume these weren't 17-year-olds, you know. I'm gonna assume these were the folks who were under the driving age, so maybe 14, 15, who were on the bus. And it's, we gon' look here. We gon' say he drunk. We call our parents, tell Mom, Negro bus driver, he drunk. Almost ran off the road. Oh yeah, we about to die. What? What? And Brother Sills, did you hear him? He said, this sort of thing happens all the time. People call in and report drivers falsely and accuse us of things like what? Stealing the weed whacker? Raping white women? Kidnapping children? If we can get a fruit basket together for Brother Sills, or whatever you all think would be nice. I don't know why I thought of it. It's holiday season, so fruit basket. But if we can get a fruit basket together for Brother Sills, that would be amazing. Just to let him know he is in our thoughts, and we do know about the plight of the school bus drivers. I will add, I don't think the problem is that school bus drivers are not appreciated. I think the problem is the system of white supremacy. Dare I say, if Joel Sills was classified as white, this incident may not have happened. Not saying that white children or non-white children, not saying they don't make up pranks and things on the bus driver if he's classified as white, but this one had that particular sting. We gonna get this nigga fired. Like, I know all about that. Deadbeat black dude. Ooh, yeah, my tumbling dice. Know all about that one. privileged black male, Gus T, renegade, context of white supremacy, in for another broadcast, hopefully to share constructive information on the global system of white supremacy. Today's date, Thursday, December 18, 2025. So I have been told. I have got to say, as a proud 206er, been in Seattle all this time, was here when we lost the Super Bowl twice, was here when we won the Super Bowl. To be here in Seattle for Thursday night flipping football, brain damage on a weekday, the beloved Seahawks playing the LA flipping Rams for first place in the conference and the division playoffs, and we're here talking about Negro male bus drivers being falsely accused of drinking Mad Dog 2020 on the bus. I could vomit. Not that we need to consume any more brain damage tackle football, but I just want to put on the record once again, there have been a number of really important football. Man, when the Seahawks won the Super Bowl, my black brother Russell Wilson, we were right here broadcasting. And the next year when they lost the Super Bowl, we were right here broadcasting. And that year we had Dr. Francis Cress Welsing. Gus T wasn't on here cursing Tom Brady. Gus T was talking to Dr. Francis Cress Welsing about the system of white supremacy racism. All of that to say, Gus T, my dedication to counter racism should be unquestioned. Don't make up no lame excuses. I got the hiccups. We had a flood this week too. I could have got an easy one. Like, man, we almost floated away this week. I ain't got no Noah's Ark. Y'all catch me next week. I'm gonna get out to this game and woo, because it's not really raining that bad now. Not bad enough to cancel the game. See. Anywho, not for spectators or tackle football fans. If you have suggestion, tumbling dice. Did you see that report in Wisconsin? One, is that you? Were you out in Wisconsin? You got cousins in Wisconsin? If we have any other bus operators, oh my God, please do not be no spectator today. You say, this will be my one and only time. I don't really get down with you too tough, Gus T. But I do operate the bus, and I can relate to that experience. You can call in just my one time to share. What did they accuse you of? They said you had a flask of Jack Daniels. They said you had St. Ives. What did they accuse you of drinking and operating the bus? Did you have to take a breathalyzer? Did they come and handcuff you and drag you? I should not laugh because that is so embarrassing. Like, are you serious? His children could have came out and said, oh my Lord, what happened to Dad? You going to jail? Oh Lord, are we going to foster care? They going to do us like Devontae? Come on. Who wants to get fired during the holidays too? Like, talk about, anyway, if we got bus operators for sure, man, don't be no spectator. Let us know if you operate the bus and can relate to what happened to Brother Sills. 720-716-7300. The code 564-943 pound. Press star 61 if you would like to participate. And I told you all. I said that like a month ago. I totally forgot. I said, man, if I was some distracted black person who was really intoxicated with white ball games, oh my God. Seattle sports just, I think, in the last, not even 90 days. ALCS, that's for the baseball, the little white ball, Dr. Welsing. We had the American League Championship Series, went all the way to Game 7. We almost went to the World Flipping Series. Game 5 was right here. Baseball stadium right next to the football stadium. Just days ago this week, University of Washington's soccer team, the Dudes, won the national championship. The big FIFA Cup. We are one of the hosts. I shouldn't say we because I don't own 2 feet of nothing here, but Seattle is one of the host cities, so they'll have the FIFA action stuff. I just told you about the Seahawks. The University of Washington's brain damaged football team just won their bowl game. Like, oh my God, if you are into like a white ball game distractions, wow. Seattle sports has got, and they have been killing it for about the last 90 days. Titles and wins and championships and whoopee. Still ain't replaced white supremacy with justice. They even said we might get the Supersonics back, like Jesus Christ. Still ain't replaced white. We'll get the Sonics and the basketball team back before we replace white supremacy with justice. Priorities. Dr. Wells got that whole chapter about ball games. Anyway, the audio that we heard at the beginning before we got to Brother Sills talked about those H-1B visas. Now, they made it flagrant. I was saying it before they even got to the racism at the end of the report, which they normally don't do in segments talking about the workplace or what have you. But first post, they did. Now, I was saying, do they have all these requirements where they got to go through your social media feed and see what you posted on Instagram and what did you say on TikTok and what did you like and who are you friends with? Do they do that for everybody? So if you're born in England, if you're born in Australia, if you're born in France, and you say you want to come over here and work, I got an engineering degree or whatever, do they do the same thing? Or is this just the people from India? If it's just the dark people from India, why is that the case that they are being singled out for all this extra scrutiny? Like, are they especially, they're more dangerous than people from Norway, like Anders Breivik? I mean, like, seriously, I'm just trying to grasp, like, has that been explained? Like, did they say why these dark people from India, they got to go through all this extra vetting and I keep saying, Dr. Cambon said, like, 15 years ago, he said, hey, and he put it in the workplace context specifically. He said, you want a job? Delete all that social media. TikTok didn't even exist then. He was saying that. You want a job? Get rid of all IG, Facebook, all that stuff. Delete all that stuff. They're going to come and say, they say, hey, you got, your profile is not public. Oh no, you got to make it public. We're going to have to go through, vet all that. If you want to come in the country, you're going to have to make it public. What? In my view, like I said, just delete the whole thing. I don't even have social media. They can go check. I don't have any social media accounts. I don't do any social media. I deleted all that stuff. Mark Zuckerberg scared me a long time ago. Elon scared me a long time ago. Delete all the social media. So I guess that would go for non-white people anywhere in the world. They might use that as justification for not giving you a job or any other form of mistreatment that racists want to dole out to us. They talked about the Georgia Pathways program in Georgia and saying that they're going to have all these wacky work requirements that you can't just sit around and think you're going to get benefits and get on the dole and not have to go in and log work requirements, and saying that Georgia was one of these locations where they didn't have these requirements, and they're saying now putting this in, thousands of people may lose benefits. Georgia, I believe, is a state where they have a higher population of people that would be classified as black, so it does not surprise me at all that in areas like that, as opposed to a state where I live, Washington, where they have a much lower population of black people, they are much less likely to have those sorts of draconian policies where we're going to be booting thousands of people off of, if it's unemployment or other forms of assistance. We're going to be not make sure that these people, or make it very difficult for people to obtain these resources, or will be very punitive if you forget to file paperwork at a certain time, or you don't do the work requirements, or whatever it is. That cut them off immediately. They have whole reports and studies where they've talked about how white people, their behavior is far more sympathetic, humane in areas where they have fewer black people. Definitely not like Georgia. The report, speaking of privileged black males, Derek Williams. This is another one. I remember we have folks who say if you are classified as black and you choose to become an enforcement officer, get a badge, nigger knocker, you're going to go out and say, I'm with the police, you are now classified as white. That does not make any logical sense to me at all. I guess, you can take whatever perspective you want, but that makes no sense at all. I do not think white people change your racial classification just because you get a badge or even a police cruiser. Talk to Norm Stamper about that the next time that I see him. For Derek Williams, that certainly did not seem to be the case. Privileged black male enforcement officer, and he has kidney failure, needs to get a kidney transplant. Dr. Vanessa Grubbs, her book Hundreds of Interlaced Fingers, talked about all the racism that black people experience trying to get organ transplants. But they said, oh no, Mr. Derek, we don't need your services on the force no more. And he said, well, wait a minute, that's my health benefits and maybe my life, Well, we ain't got nothing to do with that. You're a liability to the force, and you can't get out and hop cars and use your nigger knocker effectively no more. And they said, well, wait a minute, they got light duty, which I thought they did have, right? Because they got lots of paperwork, and, you got to get on the computer and file those different reports and traffic reports and speeding tickets and how many niggers you nigger knocked and all the rest of it. So I would think it's a lot of light duty, as they call it. He said, oh, no, that wasn't even all of it. You are out of here at the end of the year. Beat it. Dang. That would be, again, you don't have to do anything incorrect. You can be fired at any point, whether you did anything incorrect or not, and they can use any justification. You got health problems, or you don't have health problems, or we found somebody better, or my cousin wants this job, or whatever. But you don't have this job no more. Tough titty. Sorry, Derek. We'll come see you at the dialysis center, maybe, if you make it that long. Black male privilege. That is, I think, part of the Negro male privilege. All the health problems that they dump on us, medical apartheid and bad diet and not having adequate food and all the rest of it, and ended up with kidney failure at a very young age, frequently. So. The report we heard from Lanice Runnels, black female in Wisconsin. She is with the Wisconsin Department of Workforce Development. Thought she gave some great suggestions if you're looking to change careers, get a new job. One, she said if you're going on an interview, research. That's one I've talked about for years. Research the company where you're going to do this interview. That will give you an idea of what questions you want to ask. Might even give you an idea of what questions they may ask, even if this is a good fit. Research the company where you're going to interview. Practice your questions in advance. What am I going to ask? What am I going to say? Let me go ahead and try some of this right now. They said if you have a friend, you can do mock interviews. I guess apparently if we have folks that are in the Wisconsin area, they said, I guess the Wisconsin Department of Workforce Development, they do some sort of mock interviews, I guess. So maybe that's something you could take advantage of if you're in that area. I would say, hey, that's something if you have so-called attempted friends, attempted family members, that should be something that you can borrow and do with pretty much anybody. We could turn the TV off or mute it, for 10, 20 minutes and just go over some of the questions that you think they would ask, like especially if it's something you think you might have difficulty with in terms of why are you transitioning to a new job at this point. Let me get a few practice cracks at answering that question, and then you can evaluate my answers. If it's, why do you have a gap in your employment record? Let me get a few cracks at answering that question. You can tell me, give me some feedback, maybe give me some other tips of things to include in that response, whatever. But I always think that is great. I've said the same thing about other responses that you want to give in the workplace. If it's, I don't discuss politics on the job, you can practice saying that. That's not a mock interview, but you can just practice with role play, attempted partner, care mate, whatever, where they can come up and ask you about some of these things. I don't discuss politics in the workplace, but that way it'll be a little more natural. It won't be the first time that you're verbalizing any of this. She said, I don't know if I played it in the segment that you all heard or not, but she recommended, someone asked, what about lying on your resume to try to get a job? She said, I discourage that. She said, if you do that, and let's say it's a certain skill set that you lie about and say that you have, and then you get on the job and you find out that you don't have them, you might become untrustworthy. They could fire you. At minimum, they could keep you on the job, and now you are an untrustworthy employee, because it'll be like, oh man, Leroy came on the job and said that he could do X, Y, and Z, and then we find out that he can't do it. Like, oh man, he probably can't do nothing. Oh, Schiffer's line, nigga. So she recommended not lying about that, that you can, look for training, that sort of thing, once you get on the job. But yes, she recommended discourage that, and that's something I would also discourage. I just think for black people, just like you heard with the H-1B visas, there's going to be a much stricter vetting process for non-white people. So I wouldn't necessarily encourage the lying about skills that you have if you do not have them. I think Dr. Maya Angelou, that might be the closest I would come, where I think she did some of that, lying about skills or experience that she claimed to have, but she went to learn and acquire that knowledge as fast as she could prior to taking the job. She told us, I would lock myself in my room and just go study, get all the books that I could. Now she could go and get tutorials and be online, get the books too, and that way I could be as close as possible to what skill set I need to have that job if I did do some lying on my application or in the interview process. And then I already gave you about Joel Sills. Oh my goodness. I am so excited. With the cup runneth over today, we got Joel Sills, so any of the folks who drive the bus. But man, oh man, it is holiday season. I have to get in one more. We have lots of emails too, untiljustice@gmail.com. Always love hearing the emails from folks. But man, oh man, the New York Times has a whole workplace racism, or not workplace racism, but it's workplace, where they address labor. Racism comes up sometime, like racist jokes last week. This week, those lame office holiday parties came up. Oh man. Gus T been talking about this one for years as well. I knew as soon as I saw the picture, because it got a whole bunch of white people and a whole bunch of liquor, I knew immediately, uh-oh. Title of the article, my boss got way too drunk at the Christmas party. Now, even you contrast that, Joel Sills, they done lied on him and accused him of being drunk on the bus. They at the party, and it's not, we were a little bit tipsy, way too drunk. What happened to moderation? What happened? And they do all this, and then we got to do dry January. Come on. It reads, the vindictive boss. I work in a very small office where there's only one. Make sure I get the correct report. Okay. Where there's only one manager, the owner, who also serves as HR. Up until recently, it has been a wonderful place to work with an emphasis on teamwork. We have work outings to celebrate milestones or achievements. At the most recent one, the owner became drunk and began berating me in front of my colleagues. Recognizing that it wasn't going to end well, I got up and left to remove myself from the situation. The next day at work, he pulled me aside and informed me that I was rude, disrespectful, and demonstrated a lack of team spirit for walking out of the work function. Furthermore, I was put on probation after my boss said he reviewed my recent performance. I had gotten a positive performance review the week prior. This is a red flag, and it's time for me to leave. The challenge is that my non-compete will mean a lengthy job search. In the meantime, I do not know if I have recourse should this escalate, and if I should involve an attorney. They respond from the Times. It's a small consolation to someone facing retribution at work for their boss's indiscretion, but if nothing else, your question serves as a good blanket reminder for managers and supervisors everywhere this holiday office party season. It's a good idea to stop after 2 drinks. Gus T says, number one, health officials around the world have said any more than 1 drink per week, you are heading towards cancer. Not 2, really, 0 would be best. Certainly no more than 1. And that's it. At the office party, 0 really is mandatory, especially if they're going to behave like this and or worse. 0 drinks at the office party. 0. It continues. 2. Are you serious? Sure, you could have 3 drinks or 6 and enjoy the social leveling and bonhomie that accompanies lowered inhibition and decreased cognitive capacity. In my view, you do not ever want decreased cognitive capacity in the presence of whites or most victims of racism. It's hard to command respect in the office when people have seen you red-faced and trying to light a cigarette from the filter. I don't know if you have a lot of melanin, if you'll be red-faced per se, but we got it. Worse, whether or not you mean to, you'll put people over whom you have some degree of power in the awkward position of humoring their drunk boss's bad jokes. Or his tirades, her tirades, for fear of professional sanction. It's nice to imagine you'll be the life of the party around employees from whom your position otherwise distances you, but as a former co-worker of mine, Tom Skoka, once wrote, being the life of the party is usually a mistake, especially around people you don't like and or have to work with. Facts. Indeed, the best way for a boss to go to a holiday party or really any office party is briefly arriving on time to make sure everything is taken care of and leaving early so that everyone can relax and gossip. Jesus Christ, Fuller got that in the 10 stops. If that's the best that's going to happen at the office holiday party, if you're not the boss, we said last week, and I got it from the AI, they said, you're not the boss, you come late, and like the boss, you leave early so they can gossip and drink and do all the rest of it. Come late, leave early. Obviously, you don't need to hear this advice, and I guess that your boss, given his vindictive gracelessness, would not have listened. So what should you do? In employment law, as in criminal defense, the answer to the question, should I consult a lawyer, is always yes, especially in your situation, not so much because your boss was drunk or because he's clearly punishing you, but because with no recourse to a union or even an HR department, your only real option for protection, should you need it, is going to come from a lawyer. Most employment lawyers offer a free initial consultation, so there's no risk to at least giving them a call, and I bet you'd have a lot to talk about before even getting to the specifics of your position. In fact, you might bring up your non-compete. Few things give employment lawyers as much satisfaction as savaging non-compete agreements, which, depending on your state and language in the contract, are often unenforceable. Beyond that, a lawyer can help assess whether your boss's actions qualify as illegal retaliation if, say, in the course of his drunken rant, he invoked your race, age, religion, or gender. You most likely had a right to walk away without adverse employment action, like placing you on probation. Even if the retaliation claim is weak, a lawyer can counsel you on how to communicate with your boss going forward and help advise you on the correspondences that you should save. Unfortunately, until you have a clearer sense of your legal options and the strength of your non-compete, you're stuck in an office with a boss who has it out for you. The only thing to do as you look for an escape route is keep your head down, do your job, avoid giving him an excuse to fire you, and make an audio recording of the next work outing. I had not thought about that, but keep your... I can only say, this is not like some anomaly. This is not like, oh wow, I've never heard of anything like this. No. I have heard of things like this all the time. In fact, when I got hired for a job in the school system, not at the bar or the brothel, when I got hired for a job in the school system in California, they told us in the training at the very beginning, now look, we have an annual Christmas party every December, and they had other like office party type things too, but we have a big office holiday party, and this was a big organization, school system, so I mean they got hundreds of employees. They said, man, we have a big office holiday party at the end of every year. Man, oh man, we have had all kinds of disciplinary problems, and people get drinking and wacky tobacco or whatever. and they're engaged in sexual activity. Sometimes it's consensual, sometimes it's not. They get drunk and are talking wild, and we had to go over that was part of the training. How you conduct yourself on the at the parties and such. I don't remember anybody saying like, hey, maybe you need to take an audio recorder, because they get to talking wild and gossip. Man, if it's that toxic, for real, see if you can avoid going. If you absolutely gotta go early. You arrive late. You leave early. You try to take someone sober with you. You all are sober the whole time you are there, and you have a code already in place. Anything wacky happens, somebody says something to you, somebody does something wild, like whatever it is, we already make eye contact and we're out of here. We have a code. Oh man, we had an emergency with the children. Sitter says she has to leave early. Whatever it is, we already have our code together and we are out of here. Even if it looks like, and that could even be gossiping. They're in here talking crazy about somebody. Did you see what she had on? Uh-oh. Because it's not going to improve. By the time they get drink number 2 in, well, it's been great. You all have a grand old time. I'll see everybody on Monday. Drive safely, everyone. That way you keep your job and you don't get involved. And then they can gossip about you after you leave. Let us know if you had to attend the office holiday party or if you got great strategies on avoiding the party. We need that, so please share. The number 720-716-7300. The code 564-943 pound. Press star 61 if you would like to participate. The email untiljustice@gmail.com. Let us know, do we have bus drivers where you've been accused they stole the weed whacker and all the rest of it? We have the bus operators. Let us know. Let us see. Folks who dialed in with the hand up, line should be open. Proceed.
Can I be heard?
Helen, I heard both of you. Let's see. Helen in New York. Yes, ma'am. I heard Bay Area Mom, too. I heard Helen in New York first. Yes, ma'am. Helen in New York.
Bay Area Mom, she can go first. I'll go after her. No problem.
Oh, right on. Holidays and happy Kwanzaa to all. Bay Area Mom.
Thank you. Greetings to you all. What was the question that you asked? Because when you were asking it, I was pushing the button to speak.
If we got folks operate the bus and what have you, where they falsely accused you of, being drunk and saw you sipping the Mad Dog 2020 and running over the median, if we got any operators, that would be great to hear as well.
Oh, no, not I. So workplace racism. So this is our last day. Oh, well, we have one more day, and then we're on a break for 2 weeks. Oh, boy, can't wait. We had our Christmas party last Thursday. So last Thursday we had our Christmas party, and we came back to work the Friday. So our Christmas party was at the gentleman that everybody fights over because he makes $100,000. He's the one that nobody likes because he's not like the white woman he replaced. He has a nice apartment that he rents in Oakland, and we all met there. It's like maybe 6 minutes away in Uber. I think 6 or 8 minutes away. We took an Uber there because we leave last. When I say we, I mean the back end of the school. We leave when all the kids are gone. So it was after 6 when we got there. I don't know what time it started, but we didn't get there until afterwards. So we called an Uber there, and then, of course, we all Ubered back and got in our cars. our dinner was sandwiches. It was like finished from this place called Ike's, which is fine. I had a salad. The salad is like a salad, slice and salad. You know, of course, it's always alcohol, so it was some hard alcohol, but I didn't drink any. Played bingo. It wasn't bad. I mean, you know, some of the teachers, like one parent that works with us, she brought her kid and her child, and her child also is a student there, and it was her student. So the teacher's like, "Why would you do this to me? Why would you bring my student? Why I'm drinking?" So she actually left. And maybe 20 minutes later, she left. It was, you know, so we left. I was at home by 9. It was great. It wasn't really, I'd stayed in my little, I usually use to myself, so people want to invite themselves to where I am and talk. So I played bingo and just went home. So we're wrapping it up as far as, you know, with the children. I know I talk about the gentleman that weighs 167 and about 180 because he's getting bigger. His stomach is getting so big. I changed him today. I went to go change him. He had his shirt off because he didn't want to get changed earlier, so I came back throughout the day to change him just to keep his parents from coming in. You know, I just don't really want him, you know, wet pull-up or depend. He wears Depends. I don't want him in any wet undergarments. So, not really, you know. If I have time to try again, I'll try again before, you know. I don't want to wet like that. So when I went to go where he was, he got his shirt off, and it's all heartbreaking because he's so obese, and he's stretching out of his chin, and his little frame is carrying 200 pounds, and he's 8. In his little frame, you can tell it's uncomfortable. His stomach is bigger. So we had a meeting for him just to, you know, just let everybody know, okay, we're doing this, and this isn't the space for him. So, of course, his mom, everybody else, it's a 2-hour meeting that's going to extend over until almost February. So he's not even going to leave until, if he leaves, it won't be until, I'd say June. Just be courteous, maybe spring break, which is in April, I think. But he's not going anywhere. He's going to stay there and do no work on his iPad, eating all this junk, all this. She keeps bringing him all kind of just ridiculousness, Burger King, Taco Bell. She's bringing him all kind of dumb food that goes alongside the junk snacks that fill his bag. And he's still very violent, very, you know, hitting, fighting, scratching. Still, it's a lot. It's a lot. It's a lot. It's kind of heavy. It's weighing so heavy on the actual teacher. She's taking off tomorrow. She's not even coming in. So it's heavy. It's heavy. There's also what I'm noticing with a lot of the adults, I get it that there's a system in place in the education system, but the children are suffering. So we have a lot of mental health issues with our children, and they just want to kick the kids out, just try to get them out. We, as I stated, we're TK through 8th grade. It's just that by the time they get to middle school, which starts in 5th grade, they're at the end of the hall in these portables. And so our children from 4th grade just walk over to the end of the hall, and then they go to school. They're not prepared to be in that space. Those children have so many issues. The adults have zero tolerance for the children. They're just there. Meanwhile, the adults, everybody wants to be in a relationship with somebody, either as staff or, for instance, the lady that identifies as a female that was born a male, that I always misgendered. I haven't really said much to him. I might say hi and stuff, but I don't say much to this person since he did this thing about when he said knowledge start with a K. instead of an N. They tell me about their master's degree. I haven't said much to them. I'll say hi or whatever. So this person is going to force on me, hey, how you doing? Oh, hey, how you doing? I'm good. How you doing? He's like, yeah, I got engaged. So I'm like, oh, really? So I'm squinting my eyes to look at this little crackerjack tiger eye ring that this person gave them. So I was asking, oh, okay, is it the same? Yeah, it's the same person. So what I was going to ask, is it the same person from last year at this time that you were with? That's what I was going to ask, but I didn't get a chance to ask because I got cut off to say, yeah, it's the same person. But it's not the same person because this is a new person that they just met a month ago that lives with them. So how I'm affected is this person calls off. Like 20 minutes ago, somebody said, I bet this person calls off tomorrow. And I was like, they can't call off because the teacher's not coming tomorrow. So that kind of stuff. So this is what we go through. And when this person calls off, it's calling off because this new date, is suicidal. And when every time this person leaves to go to work, they're going to kill themselves and all that. So this person has to stay home with them so they don't kill themselves. Just that kind of foolishness. And this particular person, I think, was born female, but maybe trans or whatever it is, but converted into being a male, but it still has some female stuff going on. I don't know. It's real tricky. It's very tricky stuff. So this is all we talk about at work. And then while we're supposed to be working, we're yelling at the children in our deep, deep voice. And it's just kind of strange. So even with the child that I am in the classroom there for, the one that I would deal with in the summer as well, this child, I'm already there. You don't need to worry about this child. He likes to, just play around. So he's, make this noise to this other little girl so she can run. She's in 4th grade. He's only in 2nd grade. So now this lady, the person jumps in between the child, staring at him like, roar, just giving him this awful face. And I say, hey, he's not going to hurt her. I have him. He's not going to hurt her. So it's going to be different tomorrow because the head teacher's not there. So just to see this person growling and yelling at the kids, and then how this one person, because it's a white person, how the disdain for the black children. So there's 2 black children in the classroom, and they're very mean to the 2 black children, very rude to the 2 black children. It's this one girl, she's Muslim, and he's funny with this girl because he feels that during our pride parades and things, this person's parent pulls her out of school so she doesn't have to participate. So he's funny with that child. And there's another one that he's kind of adopted. The parents don't like them around that one, but he's so cute and so he just does it on purpose to probably taunt the parents. So it's just real interesting how the adults conduct themselves with the children and how the children are on the losing end because we're still bottom in reading. We're still not doing math or good in math. We can't add. We don't understand a lot of our homework. This is the children. The teachers are just passing them from grade to grade, and they're just declining. And our enrollment is dropping. And we have mental health clinicians and psychologists and psychiatrists, but they're not helping the children. And the new white gentleman that took over the head, the lady that left, the mental health clinician that left, he doesn't know what to do with the children. He came to the Christmas party just because he's trying to, break the ice and fit in. I think he has a partner that's probably a male. It's so creepy that we're dominated by a lot of homosexual agenda, and these are the people in position of power that the children are to look to. And the most important thing is respecting their gender and their identity and them as adults versus making sure the children get their needs met. And I'm going to mute my line, and thank you for taking my call and allowing me to speak.
Much obliged. Bay Area mom. Wow. She said they already had the, Christmas party. Now, even that right there, they got the liquor. Gotta have the liquor. We can't have dry Christmas, but did they do that? Say, hey, we might have some people who had kidney problems, see? Might have people who on the dialysis. Might have people who had... Yes, ma'am.
They were smoking weed on his balcony, too.
Come on.
They were smoking weed on the rooftop. No, Gus, they were smoking weed on the rooftop, and they were sharing the weed. It's like 10 of them on the rooftop. So embarrassing. Smoking weed on the roof at this man's apartment for the Christmas party. I'll mute myself now, promise.
The wacky tobacco recreational is legal in California, whole West Coast. That includes Hawaii and Alaska. So as far north as you can take it and as far south as you can take it, it is recreational legal. So technically that is legal. I would not, under any circumstances, smoke no ganja with your coworkers, like for no holiday, wedding, birthday, bar mitzvah, Kwanzaa, Super Bowl party, like whatever you can think of. There is no occasion where you should be consuming drugs with the people that you work with, even if you work with all non-white people. Like, no. no. If you work at the dispensary, I mean, whatever. But unless you work at the dispensary, no. Not a good look at all. And even the minimum, you still don't know what is in this. Is this mine? Did I get this from someone else? No. Not a good look at all. And particularly, she said, in addition to they up puffing the ganja on the roof with the coworkers, that somebody brought their child to the Christmas party. I've heard that before. That's why I said, like, we've been talking about this, the shenanigans get going on at these office holiday parties for such a long time. It's not a whole lot I haven't seen before. Like, you could hit me with what about, Gus T, you heard about when they throw up in the guacamole bowl? Nah, I heard about that one. What about, you heard about when they have the group sex out in front of everybody at the Christmas party? I heard about that one. You heard about them bringing the children to the Christmas party? Yes, I heard about that. We talked about that one too. They clown at the Christmas party. So you bring the child in and they up, little man, what it do, Leroy? Do you want puff? Go ahead, get it. You seen Friday? Smokey! Here you go, get a puff, little man. They got the tequila. I got my 9-year-old. You want a sip? It's good. Hmm? You don't have to eat the worm. Just take a sip. Put hair on your chest. Hmm? What? She said, the teacher's sitting there, I'm ready to take a puff, and oh my Lord, you got child from the school, what is wrong? Why are you? Number one, I did say, if you're going to go, be sober. That would be less of a problem, and then we were going to leave early anyway. The child, that can just be a convenient excuse, like, oh wow, they're bringing children to the party. I don't do well around children. Well, it's time for us to go. That'll be great, but not, I was about to get my 5th tequila, and now you got little Johnny here. I can't be throwing up in front of little Johnny. What is all this? I thought this was a holiday party. Is that white Jesus' birthday? Is that how you honor white Jesus? We're going to get together and drink. We're going to drink a whole lot. We're going to what is all this for? Camaraderie, they say. Team building. We just read, they said they sit around and gossip at the Christmas party. I don't think that's good for morale. or team building. Come on. Anyway, I'm glad to hear that she said she did take an Uber for the holiday party. I'm a big advocate. Don't let them white folks rope you into being the designated driver for these little get-togethers. We've had that too. We've had black people who do the correct thing, and they're teetotalers. They don't go and, I'm going to try and empty the beer pitcher. The white people see that, well, hey, Leroy, you be the designated. We will empty the beer pitcher, and then you can drive us home when it's all over. Nah, I'm not going to do driving drunk Miss Daisy. They got Uber, Lyft, all that good stuff. Depending on where you are, you might have great public transportation too. So you can hop on the train or whatever it is, but Leroy is not dropping people off either. And I wouldn't be dependent on any of your coworkers for your transportation to and from the party either. That way they can kind of hold you hostage there longer than you want to be there. So you already got your bases covered. If you need to get an Uber, Lyft, friend to pick you up, whatever it is, you already got all that covered. She said they got the little fella who she said she had told us, I think before, he was 140 pounds, and she said the weight just keeps going up, and 150 pounds, and is he closing on 200, and what is going on here? Really? And what sort of plan do we have? That's another one. Like, to get these jobs, to be a teacher, they don't let no black dudes do that, and then they fuss at you if you drive the bus. You're supposed to have like credentials. They say you're supposed to go to school, and in fact they say you got to go to like high school, and then you got to go and do like a lot of college. Not like Mark Furman, you can do a little bit of community college, but they say you have to do like get the 4-year degree and then go back and do a little bit more and then train in the classroom. Like, it's something that they say this is really important. We don't just let anybody in here to do this. If that's the case, all of these well-educated transgender white people and even the non-white people, why can't they come up with better strategies for these folks? Like, man, I'm not saying they got to be miracle workers, but it just seems like a lot of and I mean, hey, maybe if the priority is all of this anti-sex and fussing at Bay Area mom about her misgendering folks and things and not respecting the LGBTQ agenda, and she said too, fussing at the parents for withholding their children, saying that they don't have to go to school and all that. Hey, if that's what the priority is, well, then maybe they're right on schedule. They're not supposed to be coming up with any programs to try to help these children or whatever. Like, no, that's not even, that's not what this is even about. Bad food and all. That's not what this is about. Oh, okay. Got it. Just good reminder. You play around with sex and you'll have all these folks talking about, your son misgendered me. She even said, why is this all we talk? We don't sit around and talk about how we're going to help these children who need the most help. We don't sit around and talk about that. We sit around and talk. Oh, did you see I'm getting mad? That's exactly what I said. Like, we didn't even come here to talk about that. She said the white person that she misgenders, and he came in it with a master's degree. See, that's what I'm saying. She didn't say that this transgender white person was a college dropout like Mark Furman, or got some rinky-dink diploma from one of them old diploma mills run by Donald Trump, Phoenix University or whatever. She didn't say that. She said he had a master's degree. I shouldn't put the pronoun on it. This white person got a master's degree. Can't we come up with some better techniques and have more patience? Yelling, and she said growling at the students. What is going on? And she says that all the time. They're like yelling at the students. Why did you take this job if we're not going to have patience with students who need the most help? Did you take this job just to promote anti-sex? Come on. I would pay, and that even reminds me, I forgot, we had Dr. Rogers as a guest on the program, black male educator in California, right down there with Bay Area mom. He's in Southern California. But he said because of all of that, the gossiping at the parties or in the staff lounge or wherever, the anti-sex, they come and hitting on, because she keeps saying everybody is trying to run after the black fella that makes the money, and she told us before they were all running after this person. Ooh, I want to date this person, and ooh, and all that. He said, I don't hang out in the staff lounge. That is a recipe for disaster and conflict. He said, lunch comes or anything like that, I stay in my room to myself. I work on my lesson plan. I clean the classroom. I grade papers. I got lots to do as a Negro male educator beyond hanging out, gossiping, trying to, who you dating? You talking to? You getting engaged? Is this the same? Come on. We ain't talked about nothing since you proved you couldn't spell knowledge. And now you see I'm getting engaged? Look at that. Look at that. She said she was trying to figure out, is this the same person from last year, or is this? And he interrupted, and we couldn't get to all that. So we don't know. But man. Any hoodles. Let's see. Much obliged, Bay Area mom. Helen in New York, much obliged for yielding. Did you have commentary to share?
Future dating, Gus, to the callers and to the future listeners. Update on James. He was able to get the check corrected with his name, with his first name. And I reached out to a couple of attempted counter races, and one of them got back to me and gave me excellent information, which I shared with James, and we kind of rehearsed what he's going to say to get the check corrected. And at first he was a little bit apprehensive. I think he, ego, pride. But once I gave him the information on what to say, or and everything, he was on it. So thank you so much to that person. I really appreciate it. James appreciates it. And yeah, so that was really good. It took him like about 10 to 15 minutes to get it corrected, but he got it done, and that's all that matters. I have an associate who is an administrator. No, I've never drove a school bus, but I have an associate who was an administrator slash CPR instructor for the school buses. And he said that when a student is disruptive, and I shared the information, I shared what happened with the loud noise and what the student did, whatever. I shared everything, and he said that's the procedure, that when that child does that, you make a report, you have to continue with your route, you're not to drive the child back. But this is in New York. Maybe it might be different someplace else. Let me put that out there. But so you have to continue with the route, write a report, and give it to dispatcher. You make a couple of copies and you share the report with the dispatcher. And if this happens like over and over again, the company is supposed to contact that child's parent, and this is supposed to get corrected. And if it's not corrected, if the child doesn't stop with the behavior, then they're supposed to, not be able to take that school bus. The parent will have to find other means to get their child because they're just too disruptive. So that's the information that I got. And yeah, that's all I have to say. Any questions?
I guess one, to make sure I confirmed, because I didn't really hear it clearly when you gave the first portion, the black privileged black male who they issued the check, the bonus check, this was the end of the year big bonus check we were talking about last week, and they put it in somebody else's name. Did you say he did or did not get the check corrected?
He got the check corrected. I reached out to another attempted counter racist, and they provided me information on how to speak professionally to the owners so that he can get his situation corrected. That's what he did, with a little bit of an ad-lib, but that's what he did, and he was able to get the situation corrected. Yes, corrected.
Bravo, bravo. I said that's one where I've seen enough times they will deliberately delay with that sort of thing. Sometimes where it's December and it can be January, February, and you're still going back and forth and asking questions and calling and looking for people and all that nonsense. So bravo. You never know what people's, hopefully he has lots of money saved up already, so this is just, extra. Put that in the savings, or, give it to the grandchildren or whatever. But bravo, love to hear that taken care of. I guess, what question did they recommend that this victim ask the folks in finance or accounting or whatever? What question did they recommend asking to hurry up and get this check resolved?
I could read it for you verbatim. It was a question. It was I just wanted it to be like very professional, so that's why I reached out.
Oh, I got you.
Yeah. Oh, okay. So the person said, "Hi, /manager /supervisor. I would like to express my deepest gratitude and appreciation for the check you gave me for the upcoming holiday season. Will you please assist me with an issue I'm having with the bank? The bank cannot deposit a check if the name on the check does not match the name on the bank account. While the last name is correct, the first name entered on the check is not. Since the name doesn't match the one on the account, will you please issue another check, correct name and last name? Thank you again." So that's what the other attempted counter-racist shared with me, and I shared with James.
Oh, bravo. Succinct, right to the point. Shouldn't be an issue. Very logical. Talk about that all the time. And absolutely, every bank try to be a privileged black male. Go to the bank. You got Leroy on your driver's license, and you got a check. I hope, let's say his bonus, I hope his bonus was for, I'm going to say $50,000. We're going to hope as close to that as possible. You try going to the bank with a check for $5. You got Leroy on your driver's license. Check say Lionel. Whew. Maybe you get handcuffed. Maybe they just say, we can't cash this one because Leroy and Lionel ain't the same thing. You got to get something. So, absolutely, they should understand that quick. She said they solved it quick. So, hey, if I can ask, you said I guess there was some resistance from this victim. I don't know if I heard it correctly. Like, was it prior? What was the nature of the resistance? Why? Because that email is pretty tame. It's not like it's cursing and, damn it, you don't take my money and you done stole. It's not. I mean, it's very professional, logical, short. Why were they resistant to getting their money?
I suspect a little bit of pride and ego has something to do with it. Not knowing what to say. And the reason why I say that I suspect that that's the case, because once I presented the email and what to say was right on it, was no problem. But at first it was, I don't feel I should have to do that. I already got other, bonus checks or whatever. So, what's this? No, you need all your coins, sir. Stop it. You need all your coins. So, yeah, so I think it's just a little bit of ego and pride, maybe nervousness and fear.
Woo, okay. Right on. It is nervous talking to people in power, sometimes even if they're non-white people, because they might still be hostile to you and all the rest of it. So I get that, but geez, hey, hopefully this is a super privileged black brother. I have never been in a position where, hey, I got a whole lot of checks coming in. I don't, like what? I wouldn't care if it's for $5. Take all it, man. That's what counter-racist lesson 101. If we don't learn anything else from neutralizing workplace racism, take every penny, shilling you have earned. They have financially exploited and terrorized black people forever. You are owed like that and a billion times more. So, no, I wouldn't care if you got Oprah Winfrey money, Elon Musk money. Take everything. You don't ever have, because white people can take it all back long as we're under the system of white supremacy. So, no. Take everything that you have earned. you have never got enough checks, bonuses, nickels, crypto, never. Wow, that is fascinating, though. Wow, that's why we have neutralizing workplace racism. But I do suspect frequently non-white people are in that position where we're a little nervous, myself included. It's a little scary talking to white people. They have a lot of power. They can fire us like that and do way worse. Throw us out of the building, humiliate us, and all the rest of it. I totally get it. But frequently, just asking questions, and I think that email, if I got it correctly, just ended with a question. Is this something that you can help me correct? Go to the bank, get my bonus cashed. Thank you so much. Very cordial, very professional, very short too. This didn't sound like it was a encyclopedia, something that's going to take up 15 pages. One paragraph, basically, about 5 sentences, if I remember correctly. Brilliant. That's not tough. And she said, exactly, once he saw that, he hopped right on it, and it got it resolved immediately. Bravo. Hopefully, more of us can do that. Frequently, it'll just be a matter of taking maybe 5 minutes. You can even, the same thing that Lenice Runnels told us at the beginning. She said, practice what you're going to say. You can just write it out. Write it out to yourself a few times, right? Few sentences, boom, 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 get someone else to read it over. Lord knows they got so many chatbots and AI programs and such that you could just enter the text and, hey, check this out. Is this a good one to see if I get my bonus? And they'll say, oh, yeah, that's good. That's right. Okay. And then you could just send it, copy and paste and send it. They might give you a few pointers, make sure you got all your spelling down and everything. But, I mean, yeah, super easy. Shouldn't be tough. You don't have to go in and curse and yell or what have you. Be calm. Don't raise your voice. Take a few deep breaths and, yeah, ask questions. I'm super happy, though, to hear got the bonus. Bravo. For the second component of it, I think she was talking. Now, I don't know, this sounded school bussy. Like we're talking about Joel Sills, but she said that after she did investigating, that if there's some sort of incident on the bus or what have you while you're driving, operating the vehicle, you document, you write down whatever the incident was, what have you, and then this gets brought up as a safety issue, which I love. We can't have people being disruptive while we're trying to operate the vehicle. That disruption can encompass many forms, but we can't have people being disruptive while they're operating the coach. That presents a safety hazard for myself, other passengers, other drivers on the road. We can't have safety hazards, man. People got to behave even if they're on the bus. Brilliant. That's another one that might just come down to wording. That can be written out in advance, and then you can do the email, or you can go in and talk to the person directly. For matters dealing with my coins and such, I like to deal with that face-to-face. The email can work too. You probably could have just sent an email on this one too, but that one I would go and ask the person direct, because you can say all that. Thank you so much for the check and blah, blah, blah. And can you get the name corrected? Much obliged. But yeah, for anything that is a safety issue, people being disruptive while you're doing transportation, which would even false allegations, document safety. We can't have these sort of disruptions, and why? And even I pull in policy and procedure, because oftentimes they'll have things in policy and procedure about safety, especially if it involves a vehicle. Oh yeah. Brilliant. Love it. Much obliged, Helen. If we have other folks, like I said, if we have folks who operate the bus with the children, such, let us know. Have you been falsely accused? Do they say try to get you fired and lie on you and all the rest of it? Like, oh man, if we have any folks, let us know if you figured out a code on how to navigate all of that when they make up things on you and lie on you. Did you have to take the breathalyzer? They said you had a fifth of Jack Daniels stashed away in your lunch pail on the bus or something. let us know. 720-716-7300, the code 564943 pound. Press star 61 if you would like to participate. Okaldokals. I will see if I can get through the emails. Keep an eye on the switchboard as well. Man, we got piles of emails this week. I will get cracking. Email number 1. Good evening, Gus. After 20 plus years of being in one career field, I switched to a completely different one. Talked about that earlier. I must say, I never could have imagined all the adjustments that I've had to go through and the racism I've had to face. I was definitely warned by a few non-white black people about the challenges that were to come. When I started my previous career, I was very young and hadn't been exposed to counter-racist material, so I had my code together from the minute I started applying to the position that I'm currently in. During the interview process, the higher-ups were impressed with my resume and experience that I brought to the position. As a result, I went through the hiring process, which required them to have complete access to my cell phone and full access to everything within it. Whew. Wow. 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 That's a lot. Whew. I mean, wow. It's just, wow. I know for a lot, I'm just thinking like, dang, I got my banking apps or like, man, woo, I have not heard of that before, but that's a good one to know before you take the job. I might invest the type of thing, I might have to go and get a brand new phone or do lots of deleting of things and cleaning out and wow, just wow. Let's continue. I lost a job before being hired by the current one because I was caught off guard by the request. I would be too. And it was either give access or I didn't get the job. So I nervously acquiesced and the job offer was pulled from me after the search of my phone and they named my social media as the reason. I wonder, are you Indian? I wonder, let us know. Are you Indian? Because they said they were going to get on the Indian brothers right hard. Maybe we got, let's see. I had content that spoke directly about racism, white supremacy from Dr. Welsing, Mr. Fuller, Mr. Malcolm X, Mr. Farrakhan, Dr. Cambon, many others. Dr. Cambon said delete that social media, so I wasn't surprised they pulled that job offer. I learned from that experience and completely cleaned up my entire phone, emails, text messages, etc. I started the multi-month training from the beginning. I was targeted and it did a number on my mental health. Being talked to and demeaned daily in front of my much younger peers, the treatment started to trickle over to how my peers treated me because they saw how I was treated by the staff and they knew their behaviors would gain them favor. I just did not talk about today and previously humiliating black people publicly. Unfortunately, my black brothers and sisters partook in this also. No! Thanks to counter-racist programming like this, I was prepared for that, and I'm proud to say I didn't engage in conflict with the non-white people who did this to me and stuck to my code. The staff made it so blatant that I would get penalized for the smallest things and watch the white ones get away with everything. They tried their hardest to make me seem incompetent, but luckily, due to being tested on the material frequently, I always passed with high marks. I take that practice, going over, like I said, just practicing what you're going to say, researching the company that you're going to be involved with and what have you. That's the same way that I process it. Know your material. You've already practiced, so you're ready to pass any of these tests or what have you. I thought this treatment would be a temporary thing after they saw that I wasn't going to quit and continue to work hard. But that wasn't the case. My attempted family would always ask about me, how things were going, and I never told them about any of this. I left there daily feeling like I had no self-respect because I allowed such treatment because I needed the job. I will say, number one, not talking to attempted family about all of this. That is why we have Neutralizing Workplace Racism. I've heard from so many non-white people over the years that this is exactly the case for them, that they do not have people that they can talk to about white supremacy racism. People either say it's not immediately, instinctively say that it is not racism and find some way of blaming the non-white person or deflecting away from racism. That is very common, so that's a big reason why we have this broadcast. I will also say I think that's a part of racism, where non-white people, we are encouraged to blame ourselves for allowing this sort of mistreatment. Hey, we're in a system of white supremacy racism. White people require us to have a job. We heard the segment about Georgia Pathways. So they make us have a job even when it's toxic, even when they don't pay us anything, even when we're terrorized. And then they allow and encourage all of this racist abuse on these jobs. So no, I don't ever think that it's the case that, we allow, because you could say that for any victim of racism, that we are allowing the system of white supremacy to exist. We're victims, doing the best that we can. Well, I don't know if that's true, if we're doing the best that we can to solve this problem, but victims of racism, just trying to get by as best we can. I think I can say that. Okadokos, let's see. Fast forward. Through the end of training and after months of this incorrect treatment, 2 of the black staff members asked me to go into some secluded area of the facility that I never knew existed. One of them asked how my experience was over the last few months. While pointing down at his hand in a way that made me know he was talking about skin color and not trusting them to report this back to more powerful whites, I responded back with, "It was okay, and I learned a lot." Then the other one responds, "Well, the reason we treated you like this was this is how it's going to be in this field. You're going to have to be good while they, whites, can be below average." After they say a few more decent words, one goes, "If you tell anyone about this conversation, we'll deny it." What in the... I'm sorry for laughing, black brothers and sisters. The person who wrote this specifically, thank you for writing. I'm not even done reading yet, but man, what kind of James Bond Mission Impossible, are they talking in Morse code? Why didn't you write this on a piece of paper and then light it on fire when we get ready to leave? What? If anything, remember the young lady, Helen, she was just talking and she said, I think black brother, when they messed over his bonus, they didn't have the correct name on the check. And she said, I just think he was a little scared, a little nervous. We're victims. Me, top of the list, Gus T. We are victims of racism. That's a part of our victimization. White people are scary. He said they didn't even want to come around. They didn't walk all the way around in the bowels of the... I didn't even know this existed. Where are we? What is going on? I would have been afraid, are they going to do something to me? What is going on? Why do we have to go all the way out here? We could have just walked outside. If you talk about this... What? He said they couldn't even say how they been treating you because you black. He said how they been treating you and just pointed down at the back of their hand. Now, I'm going to tell you, that's like the holiday parties. I have seen that for years. Why I be foolish, Gus T. I'm saying, the white people just W's. Say, what you talking about? I was talking about white people. W's? What is that? Oh, you mean like W for white people? Shh. Dang. That's what terrorism does to you. That is extra, though. Like, we got to walk all the way down into the dungeon. Facts, though, I will say that is brilliant codification. Like, he didn't burst open and just decide to tell them everything. Oh, my black brothers, I'm so glad that you all brought me down here. Oh, let me tell you about it. Shh. I don't know if they got a wire on. Like, man, it's been okay. In fact, it's been okay. I've learned a lot. Brilliant. You ain't got to go into no detail. It's been okay. I've learned a lot. And then he said to her, the reason we've done this is because this is how it is in the field. You have to be twice as good as the white peoples. Black privileged black males. Oh, okay. All right. If you tell anybody about this, we will kill you. And for real, I wouldn't have been surprised if they had said that. Okay. I'm going to have a robust journal entry on that day. Like, what? It's going. And where did we go? Like, what? How many parts of the building do I not know about? See, that's why I say it's so much to talk about in the workplace. Like, I don't even know everywhere in the building. Do y'all need access to get down here? Like, what in the world? Is this like a storm bunker if the building gets bombed? Like, come down here, black brother. Man, let's continue. He says, you say anything about that? My feeling about this conversation was that they could have come to me much earlier with this information as opposed to the last day. As a way of coping with this, I increased physical fitness 6 to 7 days per week, and I got into the best shape of my life. Bravo. Even though my mental health was not benefiting from this situation, I refused to let it take its toll on me with my eating and physical training. I finally get to my day-to-day operations office, and it's so much more of an improvement than where I was previously. Now, wait a minute. I thought the black brother said that they were helping you, that, you know, hey, out there you got to be twice as good and all the rest of it, so it shouldn't have been no improvement. Like, dang, that's, okay. He says, hey, you take the improvement. It was a major learning curve, actually doing the job as opposed to what I was taught in the several months of training, which seems like a waste of time at this point. Initially, they put the new people together with a vet. The other new person I was with happened to be a black male with a white parent, cowbell, and that new person's vet, a white man, immediately put the black male into competition with me to see which could do more of certain aspects of the job. I just wanted to learn the job at this point, not be in competition with anyone. How intelligent. I didn't think twice about it, but kept it in the back of my head while around these two. I began to see that every time the black male and I were around each other with the white vet, he would always try to show me up by trying to do my job and his. Of course, after that, I would hear the white vet praise the black male to the other race soldiers when this occurred. In one instance, I remember getting some water, and I overheard the white vet questioning another vet why he helped me with something at the job, and he should have just let me struggle to figure it out. Being that it came from this race soldier who has never shown any affinity for me, it's safe to say he wasn't suggesting that for my best interest. I noticed that they wouldn't share information with me, and a lot of times I learned things just by being around and hearing them gossip about everything and everybody. That's the second time today. I'm going to say it again. Mr. Fuller has stopped gossiping in the 10 stops. Even at the Christmas party, we just just gossiping and gossiping and gossiping. Come on, man. I already had come in taking notes, but that intensified once I saw that information was being withheld. Ooh-wee. That is a major aspect of white culture, withholding information, constructive information from non-white people. Whilst just being codified, another more senior black vet noticed it and began to speak with me about the job and life in general. This black male is someone I've heard them gossip about negatively on several occasions, and he has no direct impact on our job function. And from what I can gather, he's just very codified, serious, and business-oriented, which they seem uncomfortable with. One non-white employee said to me, "We have to be careful and not speak to him so much that they associate us with him, because that'll make it harder on us because he's not liked around the office." Wow. One, it's so lame because, like, are we in high school? Like, what the, like, hey, sometimes I have been in offices. You will have one person who knows how to do like a very important skill for the company, and that's it. He, she, that is the only person. So maybe you like him, maybe you don't like her, maybe they got a nasty attitude, maybe they're racist, but this is the only person who knows how to do said skill. Like, whoa, we can't get no attitude with Jenny just because, you know, we don't like it. Like ain't even got nothing to do with it. Like, man, can she do the job? Yeah. Oh, okay. Well, we have to go. We're just sitting around and the guy like, man, she lame. The rest of y'all can't go get trained. You can get, you know, I don't, man, she lame. We get drunk at the Christmas party and talk bad about her. Which is still kind of high schoolish, all of this. Like, aren't we trying to be grown, universal man, universal woman? We got to have an environment. We got to have a privileged black male. You don't talk to Leroy now, you know. And that would be me in the workplace. Like, for sure, that would be me. Don't talk that Gus. You know. Don't nobody like. You want to mess your bonus up for sure. Let them see you hanging out at old. I can't. Let me keep reading. Let's see. One day, some white workers were passing around a phone, and they all laughed. Uh-oh. They didn't pass it to me. Uh-oh. But I happened to catch a glimpse of it, and it was the black male's head imposed on a monkey's body driving a toy car. Fuller Jr., he tried to tell us. I acted like I didn't see it and continued working. I've established a reputation for not gossiping, speaking badly about people, most of the time being early, and most of my dialogue with my coworkers is work-related. This has definitely made a lot of people wary of me. Now, see, if you were, oh, you see them Seahawks, oh, you see the football game, and boy, they whipped them Rams, and boy, we love Leroy. Isn't Leroy the great? Woo! Now, that still don't mean you're going to get no raise or promotion, but they wouldn't be uncomfortable around you. They would just come and talk sports and, you know, football nonsense with you, you know. Being that I'm left out of the conversations, I believe I'm spoken about negatively a lot. In the time that I've been there, I've received so many compliments from the customers, which lets me know that I'm doing just fine, despite what's going on behind the scenes. Seriously, that might be a part of the antagonism. I've said, I can't say this one for years, but I've said for some time, if you are competent on your job, that sometimes will be more than enough to motivate racist abuse against you. They see you can, you know the programs. You can come in, get on the computer and pull things up, get it done, boom, boom, boom. Customers come in and they're not complaining and grousing and all of that. You get people taken care of. Wow, Leroy, you did a great job. Thank you. Like, what? This nigger is, what? They don't say that when I hate Leroy. I've seen that bunches. That's another one. You just have the audacity to be good at your job. Oh man, we definitely got to get rid of you. Let's see. Compliments from the customers doing this job. There have been several instances where a boss has told me good job doing certain things, and the only way they would have known what type of job I did was by watching the footage from the office. That let me know that they're definitely watching in person and on film. You better believe it. Also, there would be times when I'd work overtime and coworkers who barely speak will have tacky comments about me making an extra nickel or two. See, that's the same thing. Who is this nigger think he is coming here and making that? It doesn't matter if they make way more than you, way less than you, equal to you. Number one, go back, same thing. Brother Tupac. All eyes on you if you are Negro. They're going to be watching. We're going to be watching you on film. We had someone, she called in, she said, man, I was at work and I went in to go talk to someone. It was a white person, found out they've been watching me on the camera to pick out what I'm wearing. Watching. Now that said, hey, you just keep that in mind while you're in work. That's just something that you want to know and you want to remember, so that it's not oh yeah, that's right, they watching online. I'm not here to steal none of your vehicles. I'm not here to steal none of your rubber bands. I'm not here to steal the weed whacker. I didn't sneak off in the hidden hallway to drink Mad Dog 2020. You're going to be watching me doing my job, and hopefully watching me do my job well, so I can get a raise. Bonus with the correct name on the check. Direct deposit. Let's see. Also, there would be times when I'd work. So the culmination of all these experiences, many not mentioned and some that I forgot, I've had to make quite the adjustment to this new employment. I'll try to write in more frequently. Much obliged. Lots of good information there. He did say being early. I say as well, if you can't be early, be on time. Very important in my view. Keep that one in the brain computer. That way they can see you being punctual and competent, which again now may upset many race soldiers, but that's what you want. I am serious. I am punctual. I am competent. I am professional. That's what you want a reputation for being, and that's what they had a problem with. I was a privileged black male. I didn't joke. I didn't come in and talk about the football games every day. I came in to talk about the workplace. I didn't hee-haw and laugh and giggle about everything. I was serious. Talking about serious things. Talking about the job. Learning. Taking notes. Not gossiping. Any hoodles. The email, untiljustice@gmail.com. The number 720-716-7300. The code 564943 pound. Press star 61 if you would like to participate. The email untiljustice@gmail.com. Other folks, if you have commentary, like I said, we have folks drive the bus, Let us know if you've been falsely accused, or people, if you've been to the office holiday parties. Let us know if you figured out how to navigate all that safely. If you had any wild observations while being at the gatherings, hopefully sober. I'll see if I can get in email number 2. Let's see. Email number 2. Young lady writes in, "Hi, hope all is well. I saw this and thought it would be interesting. In addition, I went to a virtual conference for my company. It was before I restarted with them, and they called people human intelligence, in quotes. Not artificial intelligence. So we have artificial intelligence, human intelligence. This was a conference for customers using their software. They refer to their customers, employees, as human intelligence. We're just brains now. Hey, let you know. At least be honest about it. Hey, I'm not no human being or what have you. Human intelligence. Which is further reason that I do not need to be at the office Christmas party. Let's see, that email number 2. See if, and we even have 3. Email number 3. See if we can get them all in short succession, and then if folks have calls, we can get those as well. Let's see. Hi, Gus, C.O.W.S audience. Right-wing Ashley has gotten extra brazen since Tristan excluded me from the meeting last October, particularly now that the non-white, non-black female is involved. A few weeks ago, we met with the company lawyers. We discussed updating some documents to address an error that has been causing extra work. Right-wing Ashley mentioned that Fred, who previously managed the project, had planned to correct the error last year. Dang, so like 2 years ago almost. When does Fred get to it, man? Like, what is going on? I noted and was surprised by what she said, but also didn't fully process the implications of her comment. The lawyers picked up on what she said and raised the matter the following week after looking into the files. It turns out Fred got approval to resolve the matter, but didn't. He also didn't let me know this issue was outstanding when the project was handed over, but obviously told right-wing Ashley. She, being her usual deceitful self, didn't tell me. Legal sent an email questioning the matter, but were not specific on the details, so I didn't know what they were referring to. They also stated the issue was raised in September 2024 before right-wing Ashley and I took over the project. So I asked for clarification. Right-wing Ashley responded with the details before the lawyer got the chance, noting that Fred didn't get to resolve the matter before we took over the project and didn't raise it during the handover. What? All of this just, even before I continue, like, I don't know. I don't work with anybody here, so I don't know, racial classifications or any of that. But, man, I seriously doubt that Fred is a privileged black dude. What in the world? Like, you had all this time, didn't do it. Was there a reasonable explanation as to why you couldn't get this done last year? It's almost 2026. Why couldn't you get it done? And then, why did you not give a heads up when the project was being passed over? Now, I've been slacking on this one component, like, whatever. We got the FIFA Cup tournament coming up, and, I got hay fever, whatever. Lots of things going on, but I ain't done this one part. Y'all gonna have to, get cracking on that. He didn't even let us know. And then, importantly, the black person that is in charge, we don't tell her nothing. Like, we 2 years late on this one part, and shh. They do more sabotage of black people, especially black people who are in charge, where you are the last person to find out like the most important details. That is standard operating procedure. Continuing. So Fred didn't do what he's supposed to do, and didn't let her know. Legal sent an email questioning the matter. Right-wing Ashley then set up a meeting to discuss the matter with the non-white, non-black female, Fred, and invited me too. She also emailed the lawyers to say she agrees with the plan that Fred had outlined in his report 12 months ago. She knows she shouldn't be agreeing anything with the lawyers without my say-so. I emailed everyone, including the lawyers, letting them know that I will be reviewing the report and will get back to them. I didn't go to the meeting, but asked Right-Wing Ashley to ask Fred about a specific matter. She didn't give me any feedback after the meeting, so I emailed her for an update. She gave a vague response. Meanwhile, I had to make Tristan aware of the problem. He asked me to explain how the problem came about. Even though I knew it was Fred's fault, I didn't have proof and I needed to cover myself. I messaged Right-Wing Ashley again and asked if any other issues came of the discussion. She said no, but that he apologized for not taking action last year. That was my first bit of proof that Fred was culpable. But Tristan asked for more clarity on how things happened, so I met with Fred myself, then sent him an email to record our conversation and asked him to let me know of any other matters that were not flagged in the handover. Good question. He didn't respond to my email directly, but did separately forward additional information. The following day, he emailed Right-Wing Ashley and the non-white, non-black female about another issue to be resolved and copied me in. The fact that he sent two separate emails let me know the shenanigans were afoot. The lawyers had been advising, and today, off the back of some of their comments, the non-white, non-black female emailed to tell them she and Right-Wing Ashley will be progressing the work in the new year. This was far removed from the instructions I gave her an hour before. She, Fred, and Right-Wing Ashley had a meeting and decided they were in charge. Right-Wing Ashley knows she should clear emails to the lawyers with me, so got the non-white, non-black female to send the email instead. I'm side-eyeing the non-white, non-black female as she decided to go along with it, though I fully hold Right-Wing Ashley and Fred responsible. So I removed the lawyers from the email chain and reminded Right-Wing Ashley and the non-white, non-black female that all emails to the lawyers must be cleared with me, and they do not have approval to go ahead. I also reminded the non-white, non-black female of the instructions I'd given her an hour before. She messaged me to say that she would clear the emails in the future. Later that day, she came to the desk I was seated at to apologize again and essentially say that Right-Wing Ashley had told her to do it. She asked me if Right-Wing Ashley was aware of my expectation. I said yes. She then said that Right-Wing Ashley seemed unsure, so I told her she's been copied into email that I sent to the non-white female. I don't know if she was anxious or just trying to get me to speak negatively about Right-Wing Ashley. Either way, I shut down the conversation. Do I blame her? No. Do I trust her? No. No, we are not teammates, friends, sisters, homies, none of the above in terms of non-white people in the workplace or beyond. But I definitely think that that is the correct procedure in terms of not if someone comes up to talk to you in a workplace setting, even if it's a non-white person or a white person that has been deliberately trying to sabotage you or make things difficult for you in the workplace, that does not mean, oh yeah, this is the time to talk bad about them and ooh, I can't stand that person and rah, rah, rah. No way. You don't know who's listening. You don't know what their intentions are for even talking to you. They could be sharing this information with you to get you. I said no gossiping, no gossiping. So, nope, professional. We just go about it. And for this, we're just going over, the expectations are that emails are supposed to be cleared with me first. She is not in charge of this project, and she knows this. This is just restating what the guidelines are for this project. We went over this before, and this isn't gossiping because she's been told this before. So, but great job there. And man, that is so loud. Again, just if you are a non-white person, you can expect this. If you are in charge of a project, all kinds of really critical, pertinent information that they just, whoops, we just forgot to tell you about it. Whoops. To be expected. And in fact, that might be a great question to ask at the very beginning. Are there any critically important pieces of information in this handover? And going back to check in, did we forget about anything? Any problems? Has something not been dealt with, or that we're going to need to hop on immediately, or anything, deadlines that have been missed in all of this? Let's find that out immediately. Fred then they said 12, probably more than that, because this could have been that he got this project at the beginning of 2024, and then, I don't know, they could have passed this thing off in like the summertime of this year. So he could have had a juicy 18 months to work on this, and he was sitting around slacking, watching YouTube videos and TikTok. I get to, yeah. and then he's so trifling, he can't even let us know when he passed the project over. Like, oh yeah, I bet they're gonna get in trouble because I was supposed to do that last I was supposed to do that last year, and I still ain't got around to it. And I ain't even tell him that I didn't do it last year. Oh well, they'll blame that nigga woman. Man, system of white supremacy. Hey, that's being black and in charge on the plantation. In charge. Supervising white people is a hoot on the plantation. Number to dial, 720-716-7300. The code 564-943#. Press star 61 if you would like to participate. The email untiljustice@gmail.com. Let us know if you participated in the office holiday party. Did you survive it? Were you able to successfully avoid it without punishment? Do we have the black bus drivers tumbling dice? Any other folks where you've been accused snorting crack while you're dropping children off of the yellow bus? Let us know. We'll be here tomorrow. If God is willing and the creek don't rise, we'll be here tomorrow, same time, 8 p.m. Eastern, 5 p.m. Pacific. Fourth installment tonight, we bombed the U.S. Capitol. And then Saturday for the compensatory call-in, might review the flooding in Washington State. Maybe they will have caught the Brown University shooter by Saturday. We'll see. Maybe they will have found Coach Travis Turner. That's the Virginia tackle football coach, molesting, doing all the child pornography and soliciting child sexual activity. He's been on the run for about 45 days now. Maybe he'll be caught by Saturday too. We'll hope. That'd be a nice present for the holidays. But that's Saturday, compensatory call-in. Friday, Catherine Massey Book Club. Any hoodles, we'll give folks about 5, see if they have suggestions, observations for the workplace, and or certainly any tips that would benefit us non-white folks. I would say, man, ask for a tour of the building. Like, man, I know a lot of workplaces, they will have certain areas. It might be because of money. They might have a safe. It might be all kinds of things that certain employees might not have access to all parts of the building, but just, do we have like any escape routes? You know, if it's a hurricane or something, do we have a place where employees can go hide, or a shelter? We have some sort of emergency, flood emergency or anything like that? Or is it a tunnel if something happens, or we can't get out, we can go down through the tunnel and it'll take us across the street or something like that? Do we have anything like that? Let's see, because that is a brand new one. We had someone say that they were in a workplace and black brothers came and whisked them away to a hidden, chamber in the basement of the facility or what have you, to have some sort of private consultation. Like, dang. be alert of that as well. That's why I say there's so much to know about the place that you work. Sometimes they might have other facilities in the state or in the country or wherever else, same city even. They might have other locations where you can go and work. They might even have other hidden floors and facilities at the same place that you work. Lots to know, lots of research to do. Any hoodles, let's see. Other folks who dialed in, you have commentary to share. Our caller down at the courthouse in Florida should be with us as well. Line should be open.
Yes, sir. May I be heard?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. Thank you very much, sir. Greeting to Gus, the host, the listeners and callers. Gus, I was just thinking about the recent, the holiday Christmas breakfast they had. They wanted to do it as a breakfast, and they started sending out these emails saying, I feel like almost like they wanted to coerce. I'll use that word, coerce the staff to try to participate. And I just simply, I didn't respond because the email, it started out with these emails saying or trying to see if anyone wanted to participate. Then you should send a response by Thursday. It was like by last Thursday. And I just didn't respond. That's what I ended up doing. And before Thursday got here, last Thursday, the most powerful white people added this detail to another email where they said, well, the courthouse won't open for a whole hour. So instead of it opening at 8 o'clock or 8:15 every morning from Monday through Friday, last Friday it opened up at 9 o'clock. So a whole hour they wanted to delay the courthouse opening, I guess, just to facilitate this little party I guess they wanted to have. And I think they wanted to do that to, I guess, try to get more black people, in my opinion, to try to participate, but I wasn't sure of how many black people participated. And I do think as well it's the VGQ, but I think more black people didn't participate this time, though, just from some comments I heard. And another thing that has been put out there, I guess some of the supervisors are not liking having to spend money on the food or whatever to bring snacks and all different kind of food items to the meeting. I'm hearing that's a kind of a gripe, I guess, with the supervisors. Most of them are white, of course. And I think a non-white supervisor has had to go into the hospital, I guess, due to some stress-related issues. Definitely a non-white person. And I guess she's been having to, I guess, become more assertive, I heard somebody say, on a white person not doing their job correctly and catching up in the traffic area. So that's been something that has been observed. It was an encounter that I had with one of the high-ranked white people, high-ranked white person, basically in the sense of I was asking for something about a legal document to get a judge's signature. He kind of like backed away, like, you know, like, I don't know if he was intimidated or something, like, you know, and I've seen that happen on the job too sometimes, where, you know, a white person will kind of like, you know, back away and you just want to ask them a question or something, and they'll kind of just like take a step back or something, like, you know, like you're going to do something to them. I wanted to bring that up too. That has occurred, and there was a meeting that happened where a person, I would say this person is accepted by white people, but she mentioned, because she's the backup, I guess, the assistant manager, because the head manager of the department has had a child, has had a baby, and she was making these points in the meeting about, one of them about professionalism. You know, I agree with the professionalism, and she made a point about smiling and dressing, well, I guess the dress code and something else, but she made a point about, I guess, smiling for some reason, maybe in terms of customer service. And she brought up something about, you know, watch how you speak and act, and we have people that come from different backgrounds and different cultures or something like that. Because the email, it said, we all have different backgrounds and opinions. Watch what you hear from one may not be what they intended. Don't take it personally, exclamation point. What someone thinks or feels about someone, what someone thinks or feels about something may not be your own opinion. Be considerate and keep an open mind. So this is like an email, I guess, like review of what she said in the meeting. So I guess there's been some kind of conflict going on with one of the non-white staff members, you know, white staff member. And other than that, there was one other thing I'd like to share. I took a picture of the Let It Snow deck. It was a decoration, Gus. And a white person put this on someone that's not white, like the area where they are assigned, the desk. And it's a black person, and it's another detail I like to share about it, is that it says "Let It Snow" on the top of the black female character, and the black person is covering their mouth and their nose. Like, I don't know what that symbolically was trying to get at. I don't know if it was trying to mean like, are they trying to suffocate themselves or something? But that's what I thought about it. And other than that, that's all I have to share right now. Thanks for allowing me to speak.
Much obliged. The caller at the courthouse. Let's see. He said now, he was talking about those lame old Christmas parties or holiday parties, whatever it is. He said, now, I guess I've heard this too. Sometimes they'll say, hey, we'll hold the party during office hours. We'll do it. Sometimes they'll say we'll do it during the the lunch break, or we'll pick a portion of the afternoon, so that technically we're still on the clock. We still gonna drink the liquor and all that now, but we'll do it on the clock, and something we might even have it at the workplace. We still gonna drink the liquor now, but we'll do it that way so we get greater participation. I've seen that too. The courthouse though, like, dang, I mean, people come up there for serious things like deeds and divorces and the passport photos, and I mean, it's serious business at the court, and they said, well, we gonna delay it for an hour, that way we do Christmas. Like, what? What? And then the insult on top of it, he said, you know, I think some of this might be because they want to get more black people to like, what? What? I mean, the absurdity of all of it. And then he said on top of that, if you could double whammy it, he said it was fewer black people when they did it this way than last time around. Like, come on. Like, why did you conclude, or why did you theorize that all this shifting around and we got to do this at the crack of dawn and delay opening court was to get more of the colored employees to participate at the holiday party?
Well, I think Gus, they tend to use taking photographs, getting black people in these kind of like events to put the use in a newsletter. I think to show to other entities, in my opinion. And to do the decorating and to just use the food strategy. I just noticed they just use that in a pattern, but when it comes to more serious things, I don't really see them involving any of the black people, really. Maybe like one black person that's in a maybe upper tier type position, but they usually tend to want to, engage with black people, non-white people, more so when it comes to these things that are involved in some kind of a breakfast or luncheon or something like that. And they'll do that a lot when they do these meetings. We have these monthly meetings. They'll say, hey, this supervisor can bring in the snacks this month, and then the next month that supervisor can do it. And I just think that they tend to do that a lot with taking the pictures and using food and decorating a lot.
Delectable Negro. Fascinating. As soon as he mentioned the newsletter, I was like, oh, that's right, the office, but you got to take pictures for that. I mean, we got the decorations, and they might coordinate the outfits and all that other old nonsense. Oh, we got to take a picture of that. We put that in the newsletter for January, and man, even that, he said, like, for serious matters, this is the courthouse. We do serious business all the time. They don't come get the niggers. They just stuff us over here in the segregated section. When it's, we gonna do the decorate the tree, and we got the chocolate Easter eggs, and get the colored peoples. Come on. Like, don't come. We got a sale on the stale vending machine candy. Let's get the black people. Like, come on. Like, if you're not gonna get me for the serious matters, definitely don't get me when it's time for, Santa Claus and Rudolph the Red-Nosed, right? Like, I'm good. I'm sit over here with the gnomes, try to get some work done. Let's see. And bravo to the black people. He said, even with all this, the black people still didn't participate. Bravo. That's exactly what I said. It's not, and especially with all of that, it is no need for the tackiness. You can give us a raise. Give us, give us security going to the parking lot, since you all say so much crime down here. Like, other than that, get out of here. Let's see. And especially, we gonna do all this nonsense for the holiday parties, and we got to bring in food. I don't know how they did the food for that, if we're all supposed to bring in an item or if they cater it or whatever. I've seen all kinds of varieties for the holiday parties. Then he said that when it's time to do like the once a month get-togethers or whatever it is, the supervisors are supposed to bring food. Now, I don't know if he means like potato chips or pizza or what, but food of some sort. And he said they've been griping about that. I'm like, man, you spend all this money bringing all this food in. I said consistently, if you have a job, you should not be, oh my goodness, I hope they got a few Ritz crackers today because I'm starving. Like, oh Lord, hope they got a scoop of peanut butter. I'm about to kill. Like, I have a job. I'm not looking for food. I have no idea where this food came from, who touched it. You're not going to swango me. There's too many cases of that. And then now you got people grousing, mad, got to bring all this food. I'm good. Let's not do the food thing, because that right there, that's how you end up with the swango. You got people, they're mad and feel like y'all don't appreciate it, and I got to spend all this money for this anyway. That's how where you end up getting somebody say, I'll fix your wagon, get laxative and put that. I'm good. I did not come here to beg you for food, and then you're going to have an attitude about it and got to poison all of us. Like, who even, I'm not asking you specifically, but who even started this as a ritual that the supervisors, they're going to buy us lunch? Or like I said, I don't even know, is this lunch? I might be overstating, because sometimes it's not like they have like catered meals. Sometimes it'll just be like a bowl of potato chips. Maybe you get lucky and they get like a fruit platter or something, which, I guess I could nibble off that. I don't even want that. Who put that together and all that? I'm just saying, dang, and you gonna be mad about that? And you're a supervisor? It's not like you make janitor money and you mad about that? Don't even worry about it. Matter of fact, that's wasting time anyway for the meeting, because we got to get napkins and utensils and plates, and then we got to complain about the food and serve the food. Let's cut all that out. We can just get, what are we here to discuss? Whatever. Let's go over that. Panic button procedure or whatever else, and we can trim a good 15 minutes off all this, because we don't have to do all that munching. And then we got to clean up afterwards after we done left food and spilt everything everywhere. We can just cut all that out and save time and money. Then you don't have to do all that grousing about all the money. Win. I don't think anybody here will starve if we don't get food to the meeting. Right on. Well, that, for real talk, I might even suggest that, like, if I heard supervisors complaining and they don't want to do it, and times is tight and I don't have money to feed everybody, let's not have food. You got dietary concerns, because some people say they're on a diet. You got some people, they got diabetes. You got some, it's got to be gluten free. You got the old wacky vegans like myself. So by the time you go through all that, and then people that say beginning of the year they're on a diet anyway, and you're already complaining about the food, like, is it that important? What I just said, is anybody here going to starve if we don't bring in food for the meeting? I'm still in the question lane. Maybe we don't need to have food for the meeting. And I say just what I said too, in terms of time and money. The supervisor doesn't have to complain about all that money, and we can save time. I guarantee we trim 15 minutes off this meeting. That would just be my suggestion. If I was, if I heard someone grouse about it in the future, I would for sure make that as a suggestion. Let's see. He said the supervisor, non-white, was in the hospital for stress. I don't think their stress came from buying salami sandwiches for the meetings. My suspicion, white supremacy racism, whether it's directly to people on the job at the courthouse and or just racism in general, that they experience all areas of people activity. But I'm pretty sure it's probably quite difficult being a black supervisor, male or one. He said they don't even hire that many black males. I don't know if this is female or male, but it's pretty difficult being a black employee there, period, much less being a so-called supervisor. And then especially if you got to supervise white people at the courthouse. Whew. That would be enough to give you hypertension. You got to try and rein in the clique members and all the rest of that. Come on. Let's see. And then put that with, he said he had noted you try to go and talk to one of the white people at the courthouse. Just, we work together. I might have information. Do you know what I just said? Panic button procedure. All kinds of things. When is the next newsletter going to come out? When are we doing the meeting for next month? It might be all kinds of, do you know where the judge is? All kinds of questions. He said, you go to ask one of the white, excuse me, my white brother, what you doing over here? You trying to rape me? Like, man, I work here. They got security. They checked me like you. I've been working here for 15 years. Some of these, I've been working here before you started working here. What do you mean you jumping back like I'm trying to loot you in the courthouse? Like, come on. Come on. That sort of thing right there. I'm a supervisor. I haven't been to this courthouse either, but in a lot of these type facilities, if you're an employee, you have a badge on. Much less, we didn't work together for, 3, 4, 5 years, whatever it is. I got a badge on. You know who I am. What are you flinching? Scary. I don't have any cash on me. Come on, man. Like, y'all. Come on. Be truthful. Be truthful. But that's not to be laughed at or minimized at all because of what he just told us. He just said, supervisor, I don't like a male, female, whatever you want to put in. He just said, non-white supervisor, straight in the hospital, unless my ears are clogged, in the hospital. That's what I'm doing for the holidays. I'm not at home chilling with my family, talking about what we're going to eat, who's coming to visit, what goofy gifts we're going to go in debt for. Nah, I'm in the hospital. We heard what said black brother at the beginning, Derek Williams. I'm on the dialysis machine for my last couple of days before I lose my job and benefits. Here at the hospital. I humbly submit, when you work in an environment like that, maybe that happens to this person. He goes up to a white person. I'm the supervisor. I'm going up to ask a question or whatever. What? That right there might cause some stress, in addition to all the rest of it. Let's see. He said they got all the holiday paraphernalia and such. Man, put a tab in his commentary about those holiday decorations and white as snow and, all that. Tab in that compensatory call-in this Saturday. NPR had a whole report talking explicitly about that. White Christmas. And I even had to take a bow on this one because I had said this years ago, got the receipts, as the young people say, and everything. Talked to Robert Jensen about this, and I think we talked about this on Christmas Eve, no less. The racism in the, it's got to be a white Christmas. We talked about this for like a whole hour, but they did a report talking about this on NPR and tracing the whole history of all of this. Pin in that for Saturday. Anyway, obviously it would probably this might be one. Maybe they put that in the newsletter, the decoration with the black fella covering his nose. Maybe put that in a newsletter so we can see what it looks like. I can only say one. Pardon. He told, unless my memory is bad, he told us last year that customers, plural, had reported and complained about gnomes, so-called Christmas decorations, and that they looked like KKK members. That was last year, and it was plural. It wasn't just one person. Several folks had reported about this, and they were supposed to take all this stuff down, and they didn't. White defiance. You don't tell me what to do. So now we come around the second time around, and they put all the same stuff back up, and even more, and then they got, whatever this is. I probably need to see it to, what is all this? Because the black person covered their nose up and all that. Who knows? Whether white people are so sly and crafty. Who knows? Especially because he said that was the one that was the white Christmas thing, and then it's got the black person with the covered face or covered nose or, whatever it is. So who knows? They are so slick to even to have something like that and be so they don't even know. I know it's racist now. Anyway, but beyond all that, they just told you all last year you're putting up questionable things. Customers are reporting about this. This is the courthouse. We're supposed to be welcoming for everybody. Why does this stuff need to be here at all? Why can't we just stay secular? Everybody doesn't celebrate Christmas. He said they had the whole big meeting. Hey, we get people from all over different places and different cultures, so everybody doesn't respond the same way. Facts. Which includes everybody doesn't celebrate Christmas or Kwanzaa or Hanukkah. As such, maybe we don't need to have this stuff up here. Decorate your house. You don't live here. You can decorate your house or whatever the case may be, apartment, car, all of that. Decorate your personal space away from the workplace. We can just keep the courthouse still. We would be doing great to keep it clean. Air conditioning running in the summertime, we are way ahead. Why not just do that as opposed to we got to put all these questions? Because I bet if you had a whole bunch of Kwanzaa decorations that you had, matter of fact, you and the black brothers and sisters, if you all had said, we're going to get heavy into Kwanzaa and we're going to put up Ron Karenga, celebrate Marcus Garvey, Denmark Vesey. Like, whoa. Wait a minute. Yeah, we just can't do all this. Agreed. Why not take it all down? That would be, I'm not suggesting, I'm just saying, I think that is way back, and that's another time and energy, because he said, we've heard about this for like Easter. They got to come and put a whole bunch of tacky crap up and bunnies and eggs and all that food, and then they do the same thing for Valentine's Day. Like, come on. How much time and energy? We're going to close the courthouse down for an hour for the court. Like, come on. How much time are we supposed to? That's why we got Doge. Real talk. That's it right there. All of that waste. Do some work, man. We could be buffing the floor. Get these deeds. Go down doing the archive records and make sure all that's accurate and correctly filed. Digitized even. Then they don't have to come down here, harass us. Get them passport photos done. Come on. Chop. We got a whole lot of stuff to do instead of here. We gonna close the courthouse down for Christmas. Come on, man. Come on. Do some work. I'm such a huge... I wouldn't care if you are the biggest, holiday person in the world. That's not counter-racism or logical, but whatever. I wouldn't care if you got to have the biggest Christmas tree. Every year you get brand new Christmas ornaments. Every year you have the biggest wreath in the neighborhood on your door. Every year, the office, they would think, oh my goodness, are you, what is it, Latter-day Saint? They don't do none of the holiday stuff. That's what they would think, because you don't have no decorations on the desk. If you got a whole office, it's bare. It looks like it does on July 31st. July 30th, excuse me. And yeah, I don't do none of that. I don't do nothing. They would not know at all. I don't have no Christmas cards on the door. None of that. We're here to work. I'm here to make sure that I got the correct name on my bonus, not to put up no ornaments. Anywho,
so can I add a detail?
Let's hear it.
So I just thought about another thing with the racism and the decorative items. Like, one white person had the nose up again, put the nose down, and put up these decorations. I guess I don't think there were some telling me it wasn't supposed to be a ghost, like plural, but they had like these white sheets, okay, with eyes on it. I guess trying to make it look like it's a ghost, but I just thought like white sheets, and then the moons had the pointed heads. And there's a new person that's non-white that's on the side where I work at, and they put a Halloween, I guess, themed tree where she sits at. Now they put a white tree, an all-white tree, where the desk where she's assigned, and that Let It Snow decoration. There's only one black person that worked in that area, and and I just thought like, man, like this person, this black character has gloves over her nose and mouth, and I had just noticed that actually yesterday. So I think that was practicing racism. So that's all I wanted to add.
That's it. See, that, like I said, white people are so slick and crafty about things and symbolic. Like that might even be their little personal, Christmas decorations and such, because they have the lawn jockey and all the rest. Like they have so many little Negro knickknacks and things that they just keep around their house and use for decorations, but always the symbolism to remind them of the system of white supremacy racism. They have the little nigger salt and pepper shakers and all that old stuff. So like I said, I would just take a picture of something so I can just process, and that might even be one you can ask. Like that would be my, now this is not work related, this would be my one if I just want to study racism. Just, oh man, who's decorated? Is this one from your house or something? Like, oh wow, okay. Where'd you get that from? Oh, okay. It's facet. Like before when he said, I think the white woman, when she had the queen statue or whatever thing it was, and he asked about it, she said, oh, they gave me this at my job or whatever, and then she took it back home because she felt some type of way about it. But I would ask if I was feeling frisky and just wanted, for curiosity's sake, like, yeah, whose is this? Like, oh, okay. Did you buy this for us specifically, or is this one of your home decorations? Oh, okay, right. Where'd you get this one from? Okay. What's the symbolism? Why is his nose covered, and what's up with Leroy there? What's all that about? And just see what they say. Like, who knows? Maybe they got this. My grandmother gave me this, and they passed it down, and blah, blah, blah. And you ask them, why has Leroy got his face covered in clubs? Just break it all down. That might be one. If I was feeling frisky, I might ask just to see what they say. Write that down. Fascinating. Fuller said the most familiar mystery, indeed. Even he said the positioning. They put the Let It Snow decorations. They put that over where the black people are. Like, let's keep all that stuff at home. Like I said, you don't see us coming in here and Juneteenth and we got everything colored and marked up and all that. Like, come on, we're good. Beyond the fact that we're supposed to be grown, or at least trying to be, ambitioning to be, this is the courthouse. Let's be serious, man. People come down here for serious business matters, not to see what kind of cool Christmas trees we got up and lights. And then he said the white Christmas, like I said, Saturday, compensatory call-in, got that too. Like, they're going to drag their old raggedy white Christmas tree in on top of it. That ain't even, what does that have to do with white Jesus' birthday? They only have white, the trees that they're talking about. Where did we get albino Christmas trees from? What does it mean to be white? Man, on full display, so-called Christmas White Jesus birthday. Indeed. We'll be here tomorrow, Catherine Massey Book Club, 8 p.m. Eastern, 5 p.m. Pacific, and then Saturday, compensatory call-in, same time, 8 p.m. Eastern, 5 p.m. Pacific. Much obliged to all the folks who wrote in phenomenal observations and all the folks who dialed in, navigate. If you got to do the holiday office party, definitely do not take your children. Man, thought that should go without saying. Do not take children, yours or anybody else's. Do not take non-white children to office holiday parties unless you work with all non-white people and they have told you in advance, this is a G-rated get-together. No alcohol. We're not puff passing on the roof. We're not spiking the guacamole. Little folks are warmly encouraged to participate. Unless it's that sort of thing and you trust that these people, oh yes, these are responsible parents and they will have a safe, professional environment for these children, for my children. Okay, but I've never heard that for no Christmas party. We are trying to get down and woo, we're going to have the mad. That's what I've heard. Like, I've never heard that for any holiday office party. Never. It's always Mad Dog 2020. Be here tomorrow. Sobriety would be best if you are driving the school bus or going to the office party. Creator, we ask that you remind us to stop saying not all white people are racist. Remind us to stop gossiping. Stop name-calling people classified as black. It has been time, not for white ball games, but replacing white supremacy with justice. Cal signing out. Thanks all for tuning in.
Nigga, you so brainwashed. I'm a victim, brother. No problem. You're a victim. I'm a victim of 400 years of conditioning. Shut up. The man has programmed my condition. Even my conditioning has been conditioned.